Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best Davis. Take it away.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
My followers, good evening. Is it a late good afternoon? Surely it's not a good morning. Perhaps it is a good morning. My clock is saying 12:35 a.m. here in London. So I'm officially into my Friday, and it is a long weekend, 4-day weekend for those of you who are in England like myself. I hope if you guys are out and about that you are keeping safe, and if you are making your way home, I hope that you have a safe travel. Again, good day to you all, and a good morning if you are in London like myself. I say good morning, but like I said, the clock is only 12:35 a.m. Let me go ahead and see what you guys are saying there in the comment section, because you guys are always at early doors. Early doors catch the most worm. Is that what they say? You guys are definitely going to be eating well tonight. Good evening to yourself, Mr. Scott and Miss Brown. Good evening to yourself. Guys, I'm going to try and keep this one relatively short tonight. I know I always say that I want to keep my live stream short, and then I end up speaking for perhaps way much more longer than I need to, far too long than I need to, I should say. But I'm going to try and keep this one to, let's say, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I'll leave you guys to do the timing. The banner, the headline reads for itself, doesn't it? It says Lorne Donaldson named as new Reggae Girlz coach. So we're going to be chopping things up, looking at the return of Mr. Donaldson. Will also be interesting to hear what you guys make of Donaldson's return. Let me know if you guys are on board with the idea, or you're a little bit 50-50, or you against it. It doesn't really matter, because all that matters is us doing the job of the 12th man, which is to get behind the team. And I trust that you guys will be doing that. So we're going to be chopping up the return of Mr. Lorne Donaldson. And we're also going to be talking on the other front runner there. The other front runner was Mr. Jonathan Morgan as well. So we're going to be talking about the two front runners and looking at the Reggae Girlz, looking at camp, looking at the games there that are on the horizon in terms of us seeking to qualify for a second successive Women's World Cup. And things are kicking off next month, isn't it? No camps in sight as things stand, but we're going to be talking about all of that. Good to see a couple of you here at early doors. Like I said, you guys are going to be eating well tonight. Early birds catch the most worms, or eat the most worms, I should say. Short. I said I'm gonna try to make it short. You guys know what that means whenever I say we're gonna do something short, right? That's never ever the case, but I'm gonna try. Mr. Norris, good evening to yourself. What's on the dinner menu, guys? What is on your island cart? It's been a couple of days since I've seen you. Maybe that's down to me. I've been giving you guys live streams in drips and drabs, so I do apologize about that. I hope that you're in good health. Hope that all of you guys there in the comment section are in good health, and enjoy your Friday when your Friday does eventually arrive. I know most of you, my demographics there, you guys are in Jamaica. The majority of you are either in Jamaica or across the pond in the United States or in Canada. So I'm already into my Friday alongside Mr. JT himself. So when the Friday eventually arrives, I hope you guys have a lovely Friday, and subsequently, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Do try to stay safe. Let's get back to seeing what some of you are saying there in the comment section. France and Spain, and France, Mr. Okay, when I was doing my notes for the show, you came to mind because I knew that you would say France, Spain, and Australia. We're going to be talking about that later on, Mr. Scott. Good evening, Mr. Hot Chili. How you doing? Apparently, might be two of your boys switching the Etihad for the Emirates. Can you confirm that for me as the super agent there, Mr. Hot Chili? Good evening to yourself. So, is he the interim, or is he the full coach? That's a lovely question. That's a lovely question, and we're going to get to that later on in the show. Mr. Owen, good evening to yourself. Owen, the magical Owen, always a pleasure seeing you there in the comment section. Good evening to yourself. I think I've spoken for long enough. Wouldn't you agree? So let's get back up that headline. The headline says you probably don't want to read this one for yourself, so I go ahead and read it for you. Lorne Donaldson named as new Reggae Girlz coach. So that is the return. Is that the return of the Mac? Is that what we're calling him? Is that the return of the Mac, Mr. Lorne Donaldson? I have the lovely Mikey Ballin in my background, in the studio, I should say, sitting and waiting patiently. He's a Manchester United fan, so he should know all about patience. So I reckon I could keep him waiting for maybe 30 minutes more, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal for him. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play nice. And I'm going to bring him out, actually, guys. If in case you're not familiar with this, with his name or his face, you're about to see what he looks like. And his name is Mr. Mikey Ballin. How are you, sir?
I am doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Mikey, now and again I have to just fire some shots when it comes to you and your team, because when you return to the top, I know I can't even speak to you.
Let, let's stick to Reggae Girlz business right now.
You don't want to talk about your team.
No,
It's not
yes, I want to
drastic.
talk about my team, the Reggae Girlz.
You know, you've been hanging around with the politician for far too long. You're starting to sound like him.
Yes, you see, he's giving me tutoring.
Fair enough. Fair play. Fair play. It's nice to see that. So, what we calling Mr. Donaldson there, guys? Is this the return of the Mac? I need you guys to come up with a nickname. I know you guys love your nicknames. I love my nicknames as well.
I know what I want to call him. I don't know if you're old enough to remember when old Coke was the new Coke and the new Coke was the old Coke.
I sense a lot going on with what you've just said. It's a handful, but I sense a lot going on with what
It's
you've
about
just
Coca-Cola. It's about Coca-Cola. Did you know about that saga they had back maybe back in the 90s?
No, educate me, please, sir.
So what happened? Coke wasn't selling, so they decided to make a different flavor and call it the new Coke. But it was worse than the old Coke. So the old Coke became the new Coke. So back to old Coke. So Mr. Donaldson, he was the old Coke. Then they got a new Coke, and it's back to the old Coke, which is now the new Coke.
Sounds like something that is very repetitive. Is that what you're saying there, Mr. Ballin?
Yes.
All right, we're going to get into all of that. It's already been almost 10 minutes. Let me head over and see if you guys are being kind to me tonight. I know you guys don't like to play nice at times. It all depends on your mood. But if you don't mind me asking, do you go ahead and kindly hit that like button for me? I would greatly appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Let me emphasize on that. So would my lovely co-host. And so yes, guys, in the comment section, so far the only person that's really communicating and engaging with myself is Mr. Scott there, Mr. Tejas Scott. So let me know from the likes of JT, Island Cart, Owen, Miss Rochelle Brown, the rest of you. These are names that I can at least see. Remain Norris. Let me know what you guys make of the return of the Mac. And let me know, are we sticking to that name? The return of the Mac for Mr. Lorne Donaldson there. I'm going to give you guys a little run through of the press conference there that came through to us late on a Wednesday. Sorry. Yes, Wednesday would have been on a late Wednesday evening for myself here in London. A little bit of a frantic panicking because I thought my day had come to an end. So with that with that press release, I had to obviously forward that one over to my editor at the Voice newspaper. The top class players love him. Huge support there in the comment section for the return of Mr. Lorne Donaldson. JT saying, yes, I like that one. Why do you guys like it? Let me know why you guys are in support of the return of Mr. Lorne Donaldson. And try not to keep it too vague for me, guys. Please don't tell me that yes, because he has been here before. Give me something extra to toy about with. Go through. To be honest, I don't know this coach, so can you educate me about him, Crystal? We're going to be talking about Lorne Donaldson. I see that he did a interview which came out yesterday, and this interview is in the Star. So I'm going to go through the dissection of that, and I'm going to read a couple of the paragraphs, read the headlines. I'm also going to show it on the screen there for you. So to try and bring you guys up to speed, I think I need to turn on my shared screen. But before I do that, let me just check with my lovely co-host there, Mr. Ballin. You good your end, Mr. Ballin?
Yes, I'm good on my end.
All right. If you feel to interject me at any point, feel free
Well,
to do
I
whatever you want.
see the comments of the people in the comment section because
Yeah.
I am where I'm not, what I'm at a place where that I can't see it right now. But someone in my room is giving me hell. So anyway, yeah, get out of here.
All right. There we
Oh,
go.
no, wait, hold on. So my opinion on Mr. Donaldson's appointment or the return of the Don,
I like that.
the,
Yes, I
the
like
return
that.
of the Don. I feel that after a man who badmouth a set of people, and the same set of people come back 3 years later and hire the man, it's soap opera. And the name of the soap opera name as the JDF turns.
The JD.
JFF, sorry, the JFF
You're
turn.
talking about.
Not talking about the army, talking about the JFF.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is silly, and because this man said things badmouth them 3 years ago, and they still go back. So don't be surprised if it happened again.
Why do you think they went with the reappointment there for Mr. Donaldson?
I think outside influence, and they're trying to please people, you
Mm.
know, and the people get what they want. But if this is what the girls wanted, the ladies, then they get what they want, and I guess they should be happy. But they should deliver come next month.
Let me just stick a quick little pin in it here. I've got a message from Mr. Richard Stevens. Obviously, you guys can see the message there on screen. Yes, we did. We have started without you. My apologies there, Mr.
Ballin.
Stevens. Guys in the comment section, please join myself and Mr. Mikey Ballin in wishing Mr. Richard Stevens a happy birthday. So drop your happy birthday messages to Richard Stevens. It's his 21st birthday today, guys. So please do go ahead and drop some happy birthday messages
Yeah.
for the lovely Richard Stevens.
Um, Lord Stevens, happy birthday. I hope you have
Lorne Stevens?
Lord Stevens.
Lord Stevens. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
get a promotion from Sir. It's in
You got
birthday.
okay.
And
Interesting.
I hope you have my black cake to show me on screen.
Mikey's always thinking about his belly. So Mikey's saying that he's probably, I'm gathering from Mikey's, you guys there in the comment section, or it appears that some of you, I'm not sure if it's the majority of you guys there in the comment section, are all on board with the return of the Mac, or the return of the Don, that is Lorne Donaldson, returning to take charge of the Reggae Girlz. And some of you there are quite pleased to see the return of him. Slightly different to Mikey Ballin. Mikey is probably a little bit, what is that, cautiously optimistic? Is that how you're feeling?
Yes, I must say this. I didn't want Donaldson to get the job because of what he said 3 years ago. But I want the Reggae Girls to win because I'm a Jamaican. I'm a Reggae Girls fan since the 1990s. So I'm always looking. I'm going to back him. I'm going to support him. But I want to let him know, if he's watching or listening, that he wasn't my first choice. And again, I don't choose who is coach of the Reggae Girls or the Reggae Boys. I only
Mm.
care who I think is the best man for the job, who I thought would have been the better man for the job. So
I'm just reading the comments, so you can continue.
right. So I hope and pray that he does a great job. Wish him well, and I really want the Reggae Girls to qualify. Jamaica need this. The
Mm-hmm.
island need this. We all need this. We have been through heartbreak with the Reggae Boys, and we can do our next one. We can't have two of them in a year. It's not good for your system.
It's not good for your heartstrings.
Yes, your whole system. Cause you know what thing we say in Jamaica, you get body come down. Cause
Yeah.
anytime you body come down, over depression. And I don't think Jamaica have enough psychiatrists to really treat everybody.
I think if that's the case, guys, know when to take a step back when it comes to watching any team play, be it your club team or your national team. Control your moods as best as you can, and that's something that I need to practice because sometimes you get hit with the unexpected, and you're not really sure how to deal with that. So if you guys are just tuning in and you're wondering, pick up yourself, Mr. Louis Perez, Mr. Dominican Republic himself is joining us in the comment section. Pick up yourself. In case you guys are wondering, the banner reads for itself, doesn't it? Lorne Donaldson named as new Reggae Girlz coach. So we're talking about the return of the Don there. The Don himself, Mr. Lorne Donaldson, is back in charge of the Reggae Girlz. And I'm going to be turning on my shared screen so we can go through that press release there that came, like I said, in the evening hours of Wednesday for the UK timing, that is, guys, for the UK press. Would have been a slightly different, probably afternoon times for you guys there in Jamaica.
Yeah, Crystal, I remember this gentleman as a player playing for Cavaliers, Mr. Speed's club, Cavaliers,
Mm-hmm.
back in the 70s. He was a very good player. I'm trying to remember what school he played for, but I can't remember. No.
Okay.
And I remember him coaching Colorado Foxes when the famous Walter Boyd and Onandi Lowe was a member of that team.
Mm-hmm.
So I go way back with Mr. Donaldson. I used to watch that on TV. Watch him coach the Colorado Foxes and there was a next Jamaican, a left back. I can't remember his name. I think maybe took his game on the World Cup that went to the
Mm-hmm.
World Cup. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah. There were three Jamaicans, maybe, and those three I remember. There could be more, but I remember those three distinctly.
Yes, yes. Before I forget my manners, good evening to yourself, Mr. Coach's Desk. If you guys aren't familiar with Coach's Desk, I'm not really sure why that is. If you are familiar with the Jamaica YouTube community, you should be familiar with Coach's Desk. If you are not, do get familiarized with Coach's Desk. You can see how it's spelled there on the screen. So do head over to his channel and kindly hit that subscribe button and the like button on his latest video. We've been joined. Let me get back that comment up from Miss Rochelle Brown. We've been joined by the birthday boy himself, guys. He's in the studio. Like I said, it is his 21st birthday tonight. So, Warren, if you are listening and you're driving, please take it easy on our special guest tonight, right? There's huge emphasis on special. He's the birthday boy. And it must be something quite special because I don't know if you guys are aware, but we're into a 4-day weekend over here in the UK because we have the bank holiday and the Jubilee, Platinum Jubilee, believe it's called, weekend. And it just, lo and behold, Mr. Richard Stevens is born on that day. What are the odds, right? I reckon he might have some ties to the royal families. So watch your words, you guys, in the comment section. Mr. Richard Stevens, how are you, sir?
You have a knack of bringing a smile to
Happy
lips.
21st birthday. I pray you live to see many more.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A little bit past my bedtime. It's been a long day. Plenty of celebrations. There were helicopters flying above. It might have been for the another lady who was celebrating an anniversary, but I welcomed it. They were flying high, flying loud and proud. So thank you very much. Birthday
I
boy is
disagree.
in the
I
house.
think the helicopters, the 70 helicopters, were for you there, Mr. Stevens.
They were flying in my direction. I salute each and every time. But listen, give thanks for health and strength, and give thanks for an appointment. Finally, a little late, maybe better late than never, but the appointment the Reggae Girlz now have a official coach. Is that so?
It is so. I think we're having a slight interference there with your internet there, Mr. Stevens. I'll see if it continues. I don't know if you need to like log out and then come back in or refresh your page, but there's a slight little interference with your signal.
Okay, can you hear me as I'm speaking now?
Yes, I can, sir. You were saying about the return of Lorne Donaldson, and perfect timing because I have to ask you, how do you feel about the reappointment there of Lorne Donaldson?
Two key words: reappointment. Re, I don't know the history of Lorne Donaldson in detail with his assistant duties. I know that he turned down the role, I believe, in January of 2020, having been the assistant coach to coach Menzies during the first appearance of the Reggae Girlz in the World Cup finals, which is terrific. Um, I did hear Michael Ballin suggest a little concern as to the reasons why he turned down the initial opportunity to become head coach. And I would also share slight reservations on his reasons, in that maybe if they were true, and they could well have been true, he may have misgivings about the professionalism and the structure of the JFF. That's my main concern. I'm delighted at the appointment. So the is the one thing, but the appointment, at least the Reggae Girls, sorry, have a coach in place. Excuse me. They've got a coach in place, and they can now begin in earnest preparations. The last group, the qualifications, has not begun, so they can arrange some games, work together. Mr. Donaldson has a working knowledge of the players, so that's a case of hitting the ground running, one could say. Uh, and that's the takeaway that I'm holding on to. The glass is half full, then half empty. He's familiar with the players. Hopefully, I'm really hopeful. I'm praying that the players are at ease with Mr. Donaldson, and I'll be interested to see what tactics, what kind of preparation routines he has in place that are superior to Vin Blaine's tenure when he played for and won for. The competition is distinctly stronger. Mexico, America, Haiti, tough teams, but the Reggae Girls are ready for the battle, and they will need to be. Uh, I did hear Mr. Donaldson mention the need to arrange some scrimmage games. I think that was the term he used, scrimmage games. Scrimmage. Interesting. And he mentioned altitude training. I believe he said that the Americans are training at altitude, maybe as we speak. And that is going to be a factor. Of course, playing in Mexico at high altitude will be a factor. I've not seen the Reggae Girls play at altitude, so maybe your good selves and the viewers and subscribers could give us an insight into what difference that makes in this forthcoming July 4th Eliminator competition. But that's my initial thoughts. Congratulations to Mr. Donaldson. I thought from the word on the street and from the birds in the air, I thought they were suggesting that Mr. Morgan had the gig, but the JFF have seen fit that Mr. Donaldson, with his experience, knowledge of the players, realization that it's a tricky situation, and because he knows the system and structures, he would be the best fit. I am here to listen, tune in, digest what your good selves, Crystal, Mikey, and viewers and subscribers have to say. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, of course, because this is reasoned discussion until Warren Webster makes an appearance. I'm only joking, Warren. I'm only joking. Warren, get me now, Warren. Allow me. Birthday bliss. Peace and love. Congratulations. Top four. Well done, Tottenham. Well done, Warren. That's me done.
Apologies there, guys. Mikey's got a busy night tonight, so if you hear like one or two noises, don't pull away from us. But Mikey's got a little bit of a busy household tonight, right? So it's unusual, so do bear with us on that. Like I said, if you are just tuning in, good evening to yourself. You can pretty much read the headline, can't you, in case you're wondering what is tonight's show all about. We're talking about the return of the Don, and it says the headline reads for itself. You don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says Lorne Donaldson named as new Reggae Girlz head coach. So, like I said, I did promise that I would read the press release there from the Jamaica Football Federation. Also, going to chop up dissect, I should say, dissect a interview there with Lorne Donaldson. You guys could make of what he has to say for yourself. I won't do that for you, and also go through the comment section and just to try to gain a further understanding as to what we can expect from Lorne Donaldson. Also, look to our competitors there for next month, where we'll be looking to hopefully successfully qualify for a second women's World Cup. I can tell you this much, that I have no doubts or question marks over the players themselves with regards to whether or not we can qualify. Absolutely think that we can qualify. My one worry here is the people surrounding the Reggae Girlz, and it's been my worry for some time. Perhaps I should say for the last couple of months. There's been a lot of question marks surrounding the people, I should say the people surrounding the Reggae Girlz. And you do have to ask yourself just how sincere they are with regards to wanting to maximize the potential of the Reggae Girlz. Like I said, I don't doubt the Reggae Girlz quality. I do think they have it in their locker to show up and give a tremendous account of themselves. But I'm starting to worry about the team around the Reggae Girlz and just how sincere and genuine they are. Starting to wonder, are they putting the Reggae Girlz first? Is the Reggae Girlz front and center stage when it comes to making decisions that should benefit the girls? Or are we looking at several bulls in one pen all going head first at each other? Kind of feel like there's so much there in the background that is unfortunately or could potentially have a knock-on effect on the Reggae Girlz. I'm hoping that's not a negative effect, by the way. But yeah, some of the decision making over the last couple of months is questionable, to say the least, with all due respect. Like I said, I'm starting to question just how sincere people are. And when I say people, I'm not talking about the girls at all. I'm talking about the people around the girls, those in the higher echelons, those who have the power to influence decision making and so on. Starting to wonder just how sincere they are. If anything, that's my big worry. Another one of my worry, and we're going to talk about that later on in the show, is the camp. You heard from my interview there with the skipper, Bunny, the captain there, one of Manchester City's superstar signing. Obviously, I'm talking about Manchester City women. And when I had the pleasure of speaking to Bunny after the FA Cup final there, just to remind you all, it was Drew Spence's Chelsea. Drew Spence's now departed Chelsea. They took on Bunny Shaw's Manchester City some weeks ago. And I managed to catch up with Bunny after the game, and she did echo the importance of training, getting in camps, getting in those friendlies. And it's unfortunate that what was made so crystal clear there by the skipper, the captain, Bunny Shaw, that we're still here waiting in limbo, wondering when is our friendlies going to be announced. Will our friendlies be announced? Will it be an adequate enough friendly? I don't want to see, with all due respect, I don't want to be sat here and seeing that the Reggae Girlz are gearing up to take on a team based in Florida, a semi-pro team, an amateur team in Florida. Yes, you'll get a great turnout because of the demographics of the area within Florida, huge Jamaican diaspora community, so you will get a huge turnout. But the girls deserve to be going going up against teams, that countries that are like for like, pound for pound, either stronger than them or on the same wavelength as them. So that's what I'm expecting. Again, I'm hoping that I'm not going to see a scrimmage. I heard the lovely Richard Stevens talk about scrimmage. We don't talk about scrimmage when we're looking at World Cup preparation. We talk about giving the girls the best tools to maximize their potential. So I'm sure, just like you guys there in the comment section, just like my lovely co-host, we'll be keeping our eyes peeled to look at who the Reggae Girls will be playing in their friendlies. If I'm not mistaken, I did say I wanted 3 friendlies, didn't I, guys? Would have settled for 2. Definitely now I'll settle for 2 because I can't see us getting 3 friendlies there in the pipeline. What is the date? My date is saying Friday, the 3rd of June. We're kicking things off next month, so maybe just over a month to go until we kick things off where the women's World Cup qualifiers is concerned, looking to create further history. So it is getting a little bit nervy, if you guys don't mind me saying so. It's getting quite nervy. So let me go over and turn on my shared screen. I'm not ignoring you guys there in the comment section. Good evening to yourself, Mr. Gregory Reed. I will be turning my attention to you guys there in the comment section quite quickly. But before I do that, let's go over to Twitter and see what the lovely Mr. Earl Bailey had to share with us. It's relatively quite short and sweet there from Mr. Earl Bailey. In case you guys are wondering, who is Mr. Earl Bailey? Well, if you're familiar with Jamaican football, that one shouldn't leave you scratching your heads. That is the press officer there for the Jamaica Football Federation. And in case you guys are wondering, am I telling the truth? I am. So let me go ahead and turn on my shared screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. And then we're going to look at the statement there from the Jamaica Football Federation with regards to their reasons for reappointing the Don that is Lorne Donaldson. So do sit tight, do bear with me before I pass on. I should say before I carry on, let me just check in with my co-host. Are you guys good at your end?
Well, Crystal, I just want to tell Lord Richard happy birthday and welcome to welcome to Drinking Age US age group at 21. You can have a glass of sherry. You lords drink sherry, and I don't see my black cake, so I'm kind of disappointed.
I'm going to echo that
Fret
disappointment
not.
because, I'm his neighbor and I've not tasted no cake, so I doubt that you'll be getting any cake there, Mikey.
Listen,
Crystal, you will
DoorDash
be taken
delivered.
care of in due course. Mikey, you will be taken care of in due course. I want to make sure that you are in erudite and aerodynamically fine shape for you and yours and for the viewers and subscribers.
Can I ask you a question there, Mr. Richard Stevens?
Yes, and before you do, could I please hail up MPEC TV? MPEC TV, I salute. Thank you for tuning in. Full respect, Island Cart, Gregory Reed, of course, and Taja Scott. I salute and a pleasant good evening. Thanks for joining us. Crystal, please go ahead.
Are you a man of your words, sir?
I like to think so.
Okay, so I'll hold you to that. I'll hold you to the brunch and I'll hold you to the cake, correct?
Man, if I sell Will Smith over there.
Right, let me go ahead and turn on that. He paused, he hesitated, so I can't say if Mr. Richard Stevens is a man of his words. So, guys, we're supposed to be meeting up in person for the very first time to have brunch and cake. If it doesn't happen, I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah.
Right, let me stick a quick minute.
Yo,
Go on
Crystal,
there. Mm-hmm.
Crystal, I'm close to Warren, I can make him send him best friend over there.
I might have to have a little word there with Warren, if in case it doesn't go according to plan.
You want to keep these henchmen talking on these dangerous play talking on. Please, we are a reasoning station, a reasoning channel. It's peace and love and respect. Everything is blessed. The brunch will be a delight. It's a Brazilian style brunch. We will reason. We will meet face to face. If you want some cake, I'll ask what they've got at the joint. And if you want some homemade style, well, that would be a different matter entirely. First things first, one step at a time. And I cannot wait to chew the fat with the great Crystal Claire and Davis.
A real politician, he likes to butter you up, guys. So don't be fooled by Mr. Richard Stevens. He's eloquent with his words, right? Very, you got to listen carefully when Mr. Sir Richard Stevens speaks, right, guys? You've been warned. Right. So let me go back over to what I was saying there, and let me just turn on my shared screen. I did say some minutes ago that I would look at the tweet there from the lovely Mr. Earl Bailey. So let's go over to see what Mr. Bailey said about 24 hours ago for you guys, that is. You guys should be able to see it there. I have brought it up so that you can see that he's indeed, it says it right there. I hope you guys can read that clearly. Let's see if I could zoom in for you just so you can see things a bit more clearly. You should be able to see that clearer on your screen. I love that for Mr. Earl Bailey. Big up yourself, Mr. Earl Bailey. He's got the girls there as his header on Twitter. Big up yourself, Mr. Earl Bailey. And you can see there, it reads for itself. You don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read what his little bio says. It says, press officer of the Jamaica Football Federation, multi-award winning sports reporter, video journalist, analysis, track. I'm not going to read that last word. And the more sports, the better. So if we can just do a little backtrack to look at what Mr. Bailey said. And this is the tweet that I'm referring to. It says Lorne Donaldson will lead Jamaica's senior women's national team at the CONCACAF Women's Championship in Mexico starting July 4th. He kept it relatively short and sweet. Good luck. There isn't really much more to say in that regard with Mr. Earl Bailey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back over to StreamYard so I can see your lovely faces there where my co-host is concerned. And I'm also going to proceed to reading out that press release there from the Jamaica Football Federation. I have some private notes that I'm looking at, so unfortunately I can't bring the press release on screen for you guys because like I said, I'm looking at something that's private. But do trust my words. You should be able to trust me by now. So the press release there for immediate release over 24 hours ago, that is, and it reads as follows. The executive of Jamaica Football Federation has decided that Lorne Donaldson is the best person to lead the senior women's national team into the CONCACAF women's qualifiers, which starts in Mexico on June and July 4th. My apologies there, guys. And it goes on to providing us with a short response there from Mr. Michael Ricketts. In case you're wondering who is Mr. Ricketts, Mr. Ricketts is the president of the Jamaica Football Federation. He says in response to Lorne Donaldson's appointments, we looked at all the dynamics involved, including the short period to prepare, and agreed that Lorne brings specific advantages to the position, including familiarity with regional football culture and knowledge of the players, and is well placed to navigate the team through what will be a difficult qualifying exercise. Went on to saying that the Jamaica Football Federation will give all the necessary support to him and the team, and we are confident that they will make Jamaica proud in Mexico. His backroom staff will be named soon. I can pretty much round off the rest of that press release there for you guys. The CONCACAF Women's Championship will take place in Mexico between July 4th and through to the 18th of July. Jamaica are drawn in a tough group in Group A. I think we can all agree that Group A is the toughest of the two groups there, where it will be where Jamaica will take on the host nation Mexico, number one ranked the United States, and neighbors Haiti. Jamaica will meet Mexico on July 4th, the United States on July 7th, and Haiti on July 11th. And the second group there, in case you guys are wondering, in the second group, you have Canada, Costa Rica, Panama, and Trinidad and Tobago. The top two teams from the two groups will qualify directly to the World Cup, while the third place team will qualify for the Intercontinental playoffs. I'll complete the rest of this press release for you guys In addition, the group winners will qualify for the 2024 Olympics and the 2024 CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup, while the second and third place teams will advance to the CONCACAF Olympic playoff. The United States are the two-time defending champions, having won the 2014 and the 2018 competition. And that is where that one ends. I also have a interview there to dissect with you guys in relation to Lorne Donaldson, and he gave an interview. I believe it should be maybe yesterday or the day before, but that interview was made published on June the 2nd. So we're going to be looking at that interview, and you guys can tell me what you make of Lorne Donaldson words and response to the questions put to him. What do you guys make of the press release? I'm so used to doing press conferences, guys, that my apologies. No press conferences. What do you guys make of the press release there from the Jamaica Football Federation?
Do you go, Richard?
Thank you, Mikey.
It's your birthday.
Much. It's my birthday. Very sober. Very sober. Thank you, Crystal, for reading that information out. I'm mindful not to rock the boat. As an armchair fan, as the 12th person in the equation, I've seen the various seasons of JFF and Reggae Girlz and Reggae Boys dramas unfold. I want the glass half full, not half empty. So I'm wishing Mr. Donaldson well. I'm wishing the Reggae Girlz absolutely the very best. Slightly concerned when I did hear Crystal refer and express concern or two about those in and around the camp, in and around the Reggae Girlz, the structure, individuals within the system who may, and this is a hard pill to digest, certainly for the reason boss, some may actually not have the best interests of the Reggae Girlz success at heart. Some may actually welcome a failed campaign, a sabotaged campaign. Now, if these words and these narratives are absolutely without foundation, hold no water, please, Mikey, please, Crystal, please, viewers and subscribers here tonight, please allay my fears. Tell the reason boss that is all a bunch of diddlywinks, and that everyone involved with the Reggae Girlz, whether they are uber professional, uber experienced, they all have the best interests of the Reggae Girlz, the best interest of Jamaican football at heart, and they want to do everything in their powers to ensure the Reggae Girlz have the best chance, given the circumstances we find ourselves in, to make the next World Cup. Michael.
Well, the JFF had to say what they had to say, or Earl Bailey. And I support the Reggae Girlz. I'm going to support the Don when he arrives with the girls are together, because I want Jamaica to get to the World Cup. But I still think there are people around the Reggae Girlz that are a distraction, and they have to leave the camp or leave the girls alone. Stop putting ideas, because it make it uncomfortable for some of the females on the team. Well, they are females. Some of the girls on the team to choose sides, and then you may have two teams turn up in Mexico, and then that is a recipe for disaster. And I know that some people may have wanted Mr. Morgan to be the coach, and they feel a little bit disheartened because he didn't get the job. But still, we're all Jamaicans, and we have to support whoever the JFF put in there. Now, I would make it clear that I would have preferred Mr. Morgan being the coach. And I'm here to tell you that I support Mr. Donaldson, and I hope that we win and get to the World Cup.
Big up yourself there, Amokachi. In case you are just tuning in and you're wondering what is tonight's live stream all about, well, the headline reads for itself. It says Lorne Donaldson named as new Reggae Girlz coach, and that is what tonight's conversation is all about. Still plenty to discuss. I've got 15 minutes. I said I was going to be here for 1 hour. Can I squeeze it all in 15 minutes, guys? What do you reckon? Might breeze through this one faster than Usain invasion. You never know. What was you going to say, Mr. Ballin?
If you squeeze it in 15 minutes, I'll get a gold medal. Eh? Sorry, no, sorry. I take that back. The diamond medal.
There you go. Platinum.
Even that too.
Platinum. That is what they're working with over the next couple of days. Platinum. Mr. Richard Stephen, you said quite a mouthful there. There's quite a mouthful with regards to what you said. And I think it's interesting. At the end of the day, football is a game of opinions, and people are always going to have their opinions. The only way that one can stop opinions from circulating in the air is by being transparent. And if there's no transparency, people are always going to formulate their opinions respectfully. So go back to what you were saying there, Richard, because I don't want to misunderstand what you were saying or making assumptions to what you were saying, because I think he was asking a few questions, but there was a lot there to try and one, digest, and two, to respond to.
Let me see if I can give you some bite-sized treats, Crystal, before our Brazilian brunch. Is there any truth, any validation whatsoever that there are individuals potentially within Jamaican football circles, influential or otherwise, who do not have the best interests of Jamaican football and of the Reggae Girlz to ensure that the Reggae Girlz have the best opportunities to qualify for the next World Cup? And if they don't, they go down fighting, but they're given the best chance. Or is there any truth, any foundation whatsoever, that there are individuals and minds who actually do not want the Reggae Girlz to succeed? Sabotage, you could use the word. I find it very hard to swallow. What say you, Crystal?
I think you're intelligent enough to one, be able to read the room and listen carefully to when individuals from the Jamaica Football Federation or maybe people close to the team speak publicly, and from there you can draw an understanding as to what's taking place. But for me, what I'm gathering is there is too many egos surrounding the team. This is why I'm saying I have to beg the question of asking. It begs the question, do you operate with the Reggae Girl's best interest at heart? Are we going for a quick fix solution here and now, or are we thinking long term? Are we going to employ a coach that's going to be here today, tomorrow, and then 2 World Cup cycles and so on? Interestingly, a lot of people have spoken out recently with regards to the alleged indiscipline within the camp. There is arguments to say that there is indiscipline outside of the camp with regards to those who operate in the higher echelons, in terms of how they carry themselves, in terms of what they choose to make public knowledge, in terms of what they choose to bash the girls on, and so on and so on. The idea of not protecting the team, when part of your job is to protect the team, you should be able to know that there will be some form of negativity when certain information is made public. This is why I'm saying that it just appears to me that taking so much some of the stuff that's gone on around the girls into consideration, again away from the girls, it just seems that not many who should have the best interests of the girls at the center of their decision making, they don't necessarily carry themselves with that merit, in my humble opinion. And that's just the vibe I'm getting from quite a few people. Thankfully, not the majority, the minority. That's the impression that I'm getting when it comes to decision making and so on. Because even with the press release there, if you dissected the press release and you read it, word for word, in terms of the reappointment there of Lorne Donaldson. One of the lines that I think stands out, and I could probably read that short sentence there again for you guys. Um, okay, let's go ahead and read that. It says, "We looked at all the dynamics involved. Be interesting to know what those dynamics are, including the short period to prepare. That is a fact. We are looking at a short turnaround. Although I was hoping that the federation were being proactive, so there shouldn't really be this short period of to turn around, because the former interim head coach there, Vin Blaine, echoed some weeks back in his last press conference there when he was in charge that he wants to have fixtures in the pipeline. So the fact that we're still here weeks later talking about, and I trust that he would have said that to the Jamaica Football Federation months ago, that this is the idea that he has in mind, including the short period to prepare. I really don't think that we should be using this as an excuse. For me, it's just an excuse, but it's an excuse that shouldn't exist. And also, so let me read that sentence there again. It says, "We looked at all the dynamics involved, including the short period to prepare, and agreed that Lorne brings specific advantages to the position, including familiarity with regional football culture and knowledge of the players." And I kind of have to stop right there, because obviously you can't dispute that sentence there where it says Lorne brings specific advantages to the position, including familiarity with regional football culture and knowledge of the players, and is well placed to navigate the team through the difficult qualifying exercises. So, if that's your decision making as to why you would reappoint Lorne Donaldson, why did it take so long to come to that conclusion? Should that not have been like your immediate response in taking things into consideration, even when Vin Blaine was perhaps split down the middle with regards to whether he would stay on as the head coach, as the interim head coach, or walk away? Um, should you not have had Lorne Donaldson on speed dial to say, this is what we're looking at. If it does happen, we make a smooth transition. Because if you're talking about your decision making, the reason why you came to the decision as to reappointing Lorne Donaldson is because he is familiar with the squad. You knew that. We've always known that. That's always been public knowledge. So why didn't you just make that as a immediate response to say, this is where we're going with, we don't have time to waste? Because it seems to me that we've just wasted a couple weeks, and those are weeks that we now cannot get back.
I second that, Crystal, because from the moment that letter came out, Mr. Blaine was kind of saying he's 50-50, but I think it's more 70-30 that he was going to leave, because he knows as an experienced coach, when you lose your dressing room, it's time to leave, and the JFF should have known that. The JFS pulled this game that they play where they put their support behind Vin when they know Vin was leaving. So they should have Mr. Donaldson already prime and set. So listen, you go check out the ladies that you think you want in your squad. I know we're looking for a left back because we have a girl that's playing left back that's actually should be playing right back, and get ready. So as soon as Vin officially stepped down, within 48 hours, Lon is the coach.
Yeah, for me, it's just like you pussyfoot around
So
employing
no,
someone that it
but
was. Go
let me
on.
finish here. So what I think they did was, because Vin was talking about a camp, I think like a long camp
Yeah.
somewhere in Europe or somewhere in the US. And what they did here is, by waiting 2 weeks, was save 2 weeks worth of money, that could cost us the World Cup qualifiers. Qualify for the World Cup because these girls need together. You need to find a left back, maybe a midfielder, maybe whatever the girls Lorne needs to find, and he don't have the time to do it. So we will end up in the same situation like the under 20 girls did, and on the 17 girls did. We're not prepared. While Mexico is out there playing practice game, I don't know what Haiti is doing. I'm sure the U.S. is in a camp. You know, I'm sure that Mexico and the U.S. are in camp. I don't know. I can't say for Haiti, but more than likely they are because they have the team set, they have the coach set. So we are already started on the back foot. So we already started in fourth place, and we're giving them what we call a head start. They have a head start on us, and this is stupidness.
Mm.
And I blame this on the JFF because we were saying, Crystal, you remember, when the letter came, we said Vin has to leave. And Vin going to say 50-50, but Vin might have known it was 70-30 that he's going to leave. So the JFF should have said, you know what? And most of them is football people in the JFF. They knew that this was going to happen. And now it's June 2nd. And more than likely, these girls may not get in a camp till next week this time. So therefore, when you're going to play a practice game, when you're going to develop a system, when you're going to learn what the coach wants. So our first practice game, maybe the Mexico game.
So it just goes back to what I was saying, where I'm saying that I don't believe that these people who make these decision makings, whether it's joint decision, I have no idea what goes on behind closed doors. It doesn't appear that you're doing it with the girl's best interest of heart, because irrespective of whether it's going to be Lorne Donaldson or someone else, someone behind the scenes should have already cemented fixtures in the pipeline in terms of the friendlies. So the friendlies should have already been in the pipeline, ready for any coach to come through, sit in the driving seat and say, let's go. So this, you cannot say that we did not look for any friendlies or we didn't solidify any friendlies because we did not have a head coach. That's unacceptable. That's an unacceptable excuse. You cannot use it. It's not a good enough excuse. So this whole idea of including the short period to prepare, that's an excuse, and that's an excuse that should be only be said internally. You don't say that externally because you make yourself look like you are far from professional, that you're not serious about this, because if you prepare to fail, that's exactly what's going to happen.
And when they had that leak tape recording with Damian Lowe, and a certain person say you think a patty shop business, them put patty shop owners to shame, because patty shop owner do a better job than they're doing.
Yeah, that whole comparison there always I mean, I get it, but it always rattles my head because patty shops, they've been long standing before I was even thought of. So that's actually a well-rounded business. I get the comparisons, but
listen, there's a patty shop. There's a patty shop, two patty shop companies here in the U.S. in New York that are multi-million-dollar companies. Okay, one named Golden Cross and one named Caribbean Delight. And they are multi-million-dollar U.S. companies. So people, patty shop is big business. Them a Jamaica and JFF money can have run an ice cream store.
What I will give the Jamaica Football Federation credit for is for them being bold and aiming high and trying to get a head coach through the doors in the capacity of Jonathan Morgan. This is a coach that is mentioned in the same breath as Club and also Emma Hayes, in terms of how we view him over here in the UK, sharing award presentations with the likes of Club and Emma Hayes. So to think of a coach that is, I guess you could still say, relatively new to the football industry in terms of visibility and what we know of him, to be mentioned in the same sentence as your Emma Hayes and your Klopp, when people are highlighting your achievements and saying this is the next best thing. Hats off to Jonathan Morgan to be tasting the what do you want to call it, the fruit of his labor so at early days of his young career. Hats off to him, and credits to the Jamaica Football Federation for aiming high. Hats off to you guys for aiming high, because that tells me that you wanted a change. This is why I'm going back and saying, so You wanted change, but how much were you prepared for change? Were you prepared to put your necks on the line and say that I want change and I'm prepared to go for change irrespective of what might happen in terms of dare I say, the control that you might have on the team? Do you have any control on the team going forward? Do you have any say in how the team is operated and so on? So there's so much there to dissect with regards to decision making around the girls, but first and foremost, because I noticed I haven't said it already, hats off to the Jamaica Football Federation for aiming high and looking at the Morgans, because that's a big cheese. For those of you who are not familiar with the Morgans, and I say the Morgans because there's literally a tribe of them, it's a dynasty. It's not just Jonathan Morgan, it's Jade Morgan, it's Holly Morgan, it's Rohan Morgan. Speaking of Rohan Morgan, I don't think I'm going to be doing this family any justification by speaking about them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Rohan Morgan to come on here tomorrow night, and he can educate you guys on the Morgan family, and you can see their startup from Jamaica, because that's where the family started. In terms of football, their football legacy started in Jamaica, made its way to England. Obviously, we know what they did at Leicester City Women, taking Leicester City Women from being invisible to visible to the world, winning the championship with them, and then taking them to the highest level of women's football in England. And it's interesting to see that their career as individuals, like I say, Jonathan, Jade, and Holly, the trajectory of their careers is just rapidly growing. So I don't think that I could justify that the Morgan family, the dynasty that is the Morgan family. So rather than me speaking about the Morgan family, like I said, this is a Jamaican family that started in Jamaica. Rather than me speaking about them, I'm going to be bringing Rohan Morgan. He's the father of Jonathan, Holly, and Jade Morgan, and he's going to be joining me here tomorrow night. So you guys can throw your questions at Mr. Morgan. Do you make them respectful, and do you make them reasonable as well? So please do stay away from politics, because we don't deal with that on this platform. But that is your opportunity, because I know some of you are saying that you don't really know the Morgans. Some of you on my last live stream were excited about the Morgans because you know vague information about them. So that is your opportunity to really get to know the Morgans, get to know what they're all about, get to know about the engineer, get to know about how it all started up, and so on and so on. Because I do think that Jonathan Morgan and the rest of his siblings there and his dad, I do think that they are one for the future. So it's worth keeping an eye on them. Mike,
Also, you failed to say that that Jonathan Morgan was coach of the year last year.
that's what I was saying, that he shared the same
But
stage in
people didn't
terms of
that.
accepting awards.
Yeah, people didn't know that, but he was the coach of the year last year.
But yeah, absolutely right there. In terms of sharing the same stage with the
Yeah,
likes of that's why I draw the comparison
right.
with regards to sharing the same. Not many young coaches can share a center stage with Klopp
And
and Emma Hayes.
he's only 33.
There you go. So I said, at early days of his career, he's already up there sharing center stage with the likes of Klopp and Emma Hayes, and that's no two easy names to rub shoulders against. So those of you who don't know what Jonathan Morgan is all about, and the Morgan family, the dynasty of the Morgan family, I'm going to be letting you guys have the opportunity to know about how it all started. And it's brilliant to know that it started on home soil in Jamaica. So when you hear people saying the Englishmen, that's not the case that we're dealing with at all. We're dealing with one of our own guys. We're dealing with another fellow Jamaican that is working wonders in England, absolute wonders in England. This is why I have to take my hats off to the Jamaica Football Federation, because they aimed high with this one. They were close to killing multiple birds with one stone. And I don't really want to go any further with regards to what I have to say about the Morgans. I think it's better coming from the horse's mouth themselves, so they can talk about their achievements and the trajectory of their career, and the fact that these guys are educators, intelligent people that we're dealing with when you look at the Morgan. So I have to say, kudos to the Jamaica Football Federation, because it's very quick as individuals, as content creators, or people who work in the media as the 12th man. We're very quick to throw them under the bus, but oftentimes we don't give credit where credit is deserved. So hats off to the Jamaica Football Federation for reaching out to the Morgans. From my knowledge, that is what happened. We will get some clarification as to who actually approached the Morgans, but as things stands, I was told that it was the Jamaica Football Federation, so I'm going to be giving them credit. Mr. Stevens, how are you?
I'm well. I'm well. I'm just looking in the comment section. Yes, and that was one of the things that I saw. I'm a catchy with a wonderful how
Yes,
much I'm a
thank
catchy.
you.
Uh,
Thank you.
much blessings, and Prince Kavon has entered the building. Prince
The Prince, Mr.
Kavon,
Liverpool himself.
full respect, Prince. Yeah, man, he's been for a rough few days. I hope he's come out the other end in one piece. 2 cups lifted. Well done, Liverpool. Well done, Prince. Just go again, as Klopp said. He's maybe booking a hotel in Istanbul as we speak. Maybe he's done it already. So there's confidence for you, Crystal and Mikey. I went to refresh. I hope that the stream is coming through loud and clear. I just wanted
You
to
sound you
touch
sound crystal clear now. You sound wonderful.
Mikey. Who's the politician around here?
I spoke too soon. Now you're back to sounding like a Manchester United fan, just not
Listen,
not very clean. You're just a crack up.
listen. The politician is still you, Lord Richard. I promote you from Sir Richard to Lord Richard. Lord Richard.
My
Listen, people.
my Lord. I
Yeah,
look here.
I'm taking these as Richard today. Today him make one more on him number. So we have to take it easy. We have to make sure we treat him right, and we give him all the love we can give him. But I hope him bring the cake or crystal brunch.
Well, look here, Mikey. I must say, can you hear me
Yes, I can hear.
loud and clear still?
Richard,
You know what?
Richard, I think you might have to refresh again for us, because you're breaking up. You could continue, but if it continues, I'll let you know.
Yeah, maybe you should get closer to the router.
Yeah, I
If you
think you might have to get closer to the router. But Amokachi, I hope I pronounced your name well enough. Thank you so much for your generosity there.
thank you, thank you.
All always supporting the channel. Thanks to you, I've been able to buy a few equipment. So I'm going to actually be bringing you guys some live WhatsApp calling shows soon. I've ordered the equipments, guys, so you will be getting it. So going back to what I was saying in terms of the Morgans there, giving credit to the Jamaica Football Federation for aiming high, because like I said, they were probably this close to hitting or killing multiple birds with one stone. In case you guys are not familiar with the Morgans, I'm going to give you an opportunity to know all about the Morgan family tomorrow in my live interview. That's going to be done at 9 p.m. UK time tomorrow. So do look out for that one. And I'll be talking to Roran Morgan, who is the creator, the engineer behind the Morgan's success. And you would have seen, if you keep your eyes on what's going on here in England, that Jonathan Morgan has picked up, like what my lovely co-host Mikey Ballin has said. He's picked up the women's championship there, and that was how Leicester City elevated themselves to top flight of women's football in England. And huge congratulations when you come from a background that Jonathan Morgan comes from, and people are talking about the LMA annual awards, and they're talking about Jonathan Morgan, Stephen Gerrard, Emma Hayes, Pep Guardiola, and people congratulating you for your achievements. That is no easy feat. I do believe hands on heart, I do believe that the Morgan family are the future of football. Whether or not they are our future, that remains to be seen. But I do believe that they are the future of um of football, and I'm hoping. I'm a little it's gonna be sounding a little bit selfish here, but I'm hoping that there's no other federation that's looking at them simply because I want them for myself again for the future. So this doesn't mean that we're against Lorne Donaldson's reappointment. We're talking about the future because, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out if this decision, because even in that press release there, slightly unusual, there was no indication. I don't know if you guys have picked up, there was no indication as to whether or not Mr. Donaldson will be here for the long run, or whether it's just a case of just for the World Cup qualifiers and then they'll see where they go from there. I don't know about you guys there in the comment section, but I'm a little bit sick and tired of stop and start. I want to be able to have a coach in pole position in the driving seat with the appropriate tools around him, that I know that this person, him or her, whichever it may be, is here for the long run. So I know that they're going to be here for at least the next World Cup cycle and possible the next World Cup cycle after that. As things stand, I can't really say that for Mr. Lorne Donaldson. It seems like he's here for the duration of the World Cup qualifiers, and then possibly after that, only Lord knows what will happen after that. But it seems like it's relatively a short term appointment. And I'm not really a fan of. I get why you make short term appointments, but I'm more of a long term planner. I'm more of a long term gratification. Not really interested in immediate gratification. That kind of scares me because I think if you build quickly, you will fall as quick as you built, as quick as you built yourself. So I don't know how you guys feel there in the comment section, and also my co-host with what I've said. I know I've been speaking at you guys, so I do apologize.
It's your show. You are the boss.
You're still there. It's a three-way, and we're getting this thing well
And,
interactive.
and
What's good is that Crystal is talking a lot of sober common sense. We want the banter to be involved, of course. But I tell you what, one thing, Crystal, one
Yeah.
thing I must say, and Mike in views and subscribers, is is good news not good for content creators? Is bad news there, there seems to be almost a perfect proverbial storm where platforms are concerned, mixed with the Jamaican culture, mixed with the, dare I say, the certain shortcomings, stroke ineptitude, stroke talk of sabotage and mistrust, questionable decisions. There's a perfect storm, as it were, that culminates and results with bad news seemingly just generating, fueling speculation, negativity at times, rumors, mistrust, and it just snowballs and snowballs. And yeah, it just had me reflecting. And the second part, I'm glad you laughed, Crystal, and Mikey. You know, full
You know
respect.
why
Views
I
and
laugh.
subscribe. I know, and I love your laugh, and I know why you laugh. In fact, answer that question in your due time,
I'm
because there's a follow-up
I
question
don't
that I
mind
wanted to touch.
answering now because I'm itching
Yes,
to actually answer that question.
get in there, get in there, get in there, my dear.
I've touched on this so many times before, and I've always said that, to an extent, I've always talked about the 12th man of Jamaica, and I've relayed that to the Reggae Boys failed World Cup campaign. And I do think that the 12th man of Jamaica has to take some ownership in that, because they are too caught up with negativity. For some reason, negativity is something that sells, be it in headlines, or be it in newspaper, or be it through the YouTube community. The more negative the content, the higher the response rate is from the viewers. I have no idea why that is, but maybe the subscribers perhaps need to have a look at themselves, because sometimes they egg on the negativity. They love it. They love negativity. And I think a lot of the time is people read situations with clouded judgments, So because they read come into situation with clouded judgments, they become incapable of being objective, or being incapable of weighing up a balanced argument. So because of that, because of because of the fact that they're incapable of doing so, they in turn just strict to polishing or churning out negative content. And sometimes it's probably a case of there is no real malicious intent behind the negativity. But there is always negativity when it comes to Jamaican football, be it in the men's camp or now, unfortunately, in the women's camp. I don't know why people are so hell bent on talking about negativity, but they love it. I can't wrap my head around it, because I think if somebody's doing something good, highlight it, because the moment they're doing something bad, you be the first to talk about it. And I always say that the minority in this Jamaican football community, they're way too loud. They're louder than us, the majority. I don't know how the minority are so loud, but the minority are so, but maybe I've just answered my own question, is because people love negativity. And the only persons who is in control of that, when it comes to the media, perhaps it's about the people who buy these newspapers. Perhaps don't buy the newspapers, don't click onto the website, don't click onto the live stream, don't interact with the negativity. When you pull away from the negativity, people will start to learn that, you know what, I need to change my tune. But as long as you guys in the comment section egg on negativity, you're going to be getting your negativity, because that's what you guys want. You got to look at it as somebody who work with a newspaper. Thankfully my newspaper operate of integrity and values, but if they were sinister, there are newspapers, and I'm not going to name them, in this country that realize that they get more clicks based off negativity. So when it comes to bashing a certain demographics, when it comes to bashing certain persons from a particular um background similar to ourselves, some like myself and Richard Stevens, they realize that perhaps the general public loves that, so they get better click. So what do? They don't be responsible with their content. They just say whatever. It's not me. It's not me that has to face the brunt. It's not me that has to face the hatred. So they keep churning out negativity because it sells. It's as simple as that. It sells. And sometimes you can't blame the people who take the lead on the headlines, or blame the content creators. Sometimes you have to blame yourselves, because it's you guys that are interacting and engaging with the negativity. It's you guys that come on here and hit that like button. It's you guys that drop your little laughing emoji. If you've got a clown in front of you and you keep on cackling, the clown is going to continue to be a clown, because you are encouraging the clown. So when you realize, if we're talking about wanting change, I've always said it, if we can criticize the federation and criticize people outside of the federation, surely we can criticize ourselves as the 12th man, and just admit that there has been times where we have made mistakes with regards to that negativity, and the fact that sometimes we are irresponsible with some of the things that we say. Like for example, I'll give you an example, this whole thing about how we position players, especially when it comes to stuff that you yourself can't prove. It's irresponsible to keep churning out negativity aimed at either one particular player or the players as a whole, because what that means is, if the federation don't step forth and um dismiss the allegations around players, especially, say, for example, the allegations around Reggae Girlz being indisciplined. If the federation don't step forward and talk about or dismiss those said allegation, in turn, what will happen is somewhere later on down the line, the Reggae Girlz are probably going to be placed in a position where they encounter bad press, or bad press could lead to online abuse, and so on and so on. So it's about looking at certain situation and knowing when to stick a pin in it. But does negativity sells? 100% it sells. It 100% sells. So I've always said, look, if you can criticize the federation, then you can criticize the 12th man as well. It makes no difference. We can all be critique coaches that said, sad to say, Nick, yeah, he does sells, coach. I don't know. Nobody, please don't ask me why it sells, but it does sell. It 100% sells. And I can't really tell you why. Big up yourself, coaches desk. I can't really tell you, and JT, I can't answer why negativity sells, but it sells. Sad to say, but and the guys in the comment section, they know what balanced content looks like. They know what balanced content looks like. They know what certain persons who write for particular newspapers or online bloggers or YouTubers, whatever it may be, you know what you get from each individual. So, like I said, if you are in the comment section and you're cheerleading for negativity, don't then come and ask, why is it so negative? You're the one that's supporting it. You're the one that's supporting the negativity. So, on this occasion, like I've said so many times before, I will give the federation credit when credit is due. Unfortunately for them, I will also give them an absolute hammering when they put a foot wrong or when they're trying to play too smart and when they think that we don't know what's going on. I will also put them under the microscope. I'm willing to put anyone under the microscope, even myself. Anybody can go under that microscope, respectfully. So I hope I've answered your question, but it's one of my favorite questions because I don't mind answering it because I think whereas we can say that the federation needs to work on themselves, the 12th man of Jamaica, 100% we need to work on ourselves. And it's such a shame because we're known for being vibrant people. Like there are people across the world that pretend to be us. How many times have you been walking up and down London and you hear sort of like a fake Jamaican accent? And you know it's fake. You know that this man's never been to Jamaica before. He has no relation to Jamaica. But people idolize us and they pretend to be like us. But here we are, like in our own negativity with this crab in a barrel mentality where we're so eager to tear each other down, where others outside of the community look to us and want to be like us. But I don't know. There's lots that goes on, and I think that's one of the things that sets us back as people with regards to the importance of the 12th man. Because the 12th man, footballers will tell you, you don't need no footballer telling you the importance of the 12th man. So when you're playing about with your responsibility as the 12th man, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing the team a disservice. So obviously there are times where we have to talk about negativity because it's there to be talked about, but it can't always be negative. Can't
And,
always be negative.
and this is a very important uh, issue and caveat what you've just said, Crystal. Thank you very much for that feedback. I didn't know it was one of your favorite questions. I'm really looking forward to our conversation stroke interview. You that will prove a delicious treat for viewers and subscribers. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Coach's Desk, good evening. Warren Webster, good evening. Dark Side Rum Punch, good evening. Thanks for being here. Full respect. Hello. What have we got here? There's,
Mr.
there's a
Webster
comment below.
says,
What does he say?
do you want to read it? You can read it.
Oh, bless you. But Crystal, you don't know. Oh, no. Don't you know? The negative scream and the positive whisper. We need to be held responsible for the spoken word.
100%. 100%. But what I'm saying, Mr. Webster, is sometimes as well, because sometimes as well is how we engage with the negativity. Like I said, if someone sees that you're engaging with negativity, they're going to keep feeding it to you because in their mind it's what you want to hear. They probably have zero ill intent behind their words and their delivery, but because you are chuckling and you're twisting and turning in the comment section and you're giving them the thumbs up, you're telling them that this is what you want to hear. So they keep, because what you got to look at is, like I said, when you look at certain newspapers here in the UK, they are negative. I'm not going to name their names, but Mr. Richard Stevens knows who I'm talking about. JT knows who I'm talking about because we're based here. We know the negative news, so we don't read certain newspapers at all. We don't read it, even if they're the only ones reporting on a player coming to sign for our clubs. We don't read it because they're not for us. They don't represent us, right? But
Negative so.
Exactly, but unfortunately, they have their own audience, and that's what it comes down to. And Warren is right. Like, I don't understand how the minority is so loud. It's shocking. It's actually quite scary that the minority, the voice of the minority outweighs the voice of the majority. So then perhaps I have to look at the guys in the comments section and say, well, maybe you guys need to look at yourselves then, because this whole thing, if we're talking about the YouTube community, it operates based off what you guys react to. That's how it works. So maybe it's a case where we all need to sit back, look at things in hindsight, and look at ourselves. One, as content creators. Two, as the 12th man, and also as subscribers, and what we choose to laugh with and what we choose not to laugh with. If we're being completely honest here, it's one thing us saying that we want transparency from the Jamaica Football Federation, from the coaches, players, but what about transparency with how we deliver our message?
It's a very,
What
very,
about
very.
transparency from ourselves? We can't just always expect the federation to be transparent, but us, we are just made to just pretty much do whatever we want and hide from transparency. When asked for transparency, you can't hide from it.
It's a very, very good point that you're making, Crystal. I would seriously love this particular show to get
There you go. This is
plenty of.
what I'm saying. This
Uh
is what
oh.
I'm saying. And coaches desk knows. And coaches desk knows. But my advice to that coach is you have to go with what go with the decision that aligns with your integrity and your core values. And I think if you do that, then you can't really go wrong. Because there's always going to be naysayers and naysayers. People, if you speak too positive about the Jamaica Football Federation, all of a sudden you either like them or one of your friends works for them. No, it's just common sense that when they are doing good, they deserve to be credited for it. It can't all be negative. We're not going to all sit here and say that it is completely all negativity when we talk about the Jamaica Football Federation. That's why I had to pause, because I realized that I wasn't giving them credit for looking at the Morgans, and I have to give them credit for that because they surprised me. They surprised me, completely surprised me when I saw that they were looking at the Morgans. And that's no disrespect to them, but I didn't think that they would even be dreaming of looking at the Morgans. So like I said, someone is asking me about the Morgans. I'm not going to be telling you guys about the Morgans. Instead, I'm going to let Roran Morgan, the father the father of Jonathan Morgan, who was one of the front runners alongside Lorne Donaldson to become the Reggae Girlz head coach. I'm going to let Roran Morgan, the engineer behind the Morgan dynasty, tell you guys all about the Morgans. And he's going to be doing that on Friday night at 9 p.m. UK. So do tune in because, like I said, this dynasty, this Morgan dynasty, all started in Jamaica. And I know that must be music to you guys' ears that the dynasty, the Morgan dynasty, somebody, Jonathan Morgan, mentioned in the same breath as Emma Hayes, Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Steven Gerrard. That is no joke at all. That is no joke. So kudos to the Jamaica Football Federation again for they surprised us. They surprised me. I can't speak for you guys. They surprised me, but it was a pleasant surprise.
Crystal, can I ask a question? Mikey, I hope you're
Thank
hearing
you,
us loud
Mr.
and.
Ballin. I don't entirely believe you on that, but I do. I like the fact that you like my content.
Mikey, na easy, Mikey, Mikey, na easy, man. Panelist and commenter at the same time. You think him easy? He's doing a CC. Long time no
Mikey,
CC. He's doing a CC.
Mikey, next time you should say, and I think the best panelist on there is Mikey Ballin. That's the comment you should drop next time.
Hey, what? Let me just ask a quick question here. Crystal and
Yeah.
Mikey, feel free, and of course the viewers and subscribers who we value hugely, from Coach's Desk to Mikey Ballin. um, to what degree do you think that this kind of conversation, the negativity, the welcoming and encouraging, and the wealth of negativity, maybe it's a small percentage, but they're loud and vocal, and maybe the ones, as Warren Webster says, that whisper, maybe they're in the majority, but we don't hear them enough. But can you strike a balance and get a sense of to what degree is Jamaica a relatively fledgling nation when it comes to football. A lot of the susso since I've gone onto the bandwagon, the ineptitude, the missteps, and positive things that the JFF have done, the way that they've been conveyed, has just suggested to me that Jamaica, as a powerful, quote unquote, aspiring football nation, still has a ways to go. Boys football, the Mannings Cup. We've seen the Gold Cup campaigns against supposedly weaker teams, and yet Jamaica seemed to struggle. We had the Tapper affair, and now we've got a bag of results that have not been favorable. I'm calling for patience. As a fledgling, relatively speaking, nation that has aspirations to be a powerful nation, I think patience under a pool hall is called for. We've got the Reggae Girlz situation here, and the sussa and the negativity and the lack of preparation time and the talk of scrimmage games. To what degree and extent, in your minds, is Jamaica a relatively fledgling footballing nation, and maybe they've got maybe they think of themselves higher than they actually are? Because we see best practice models, and we can either benefit and learn from these models or adapt them to our needs. But that adapting to our needs presents its challenges if it's a fledgling type footballing nation. We've got Mexico, Canada, America in the CONCACAF region that have been thriving on the men's side and the women's side, on the men's and women's side. And yet Jamaica seem to be shooting themselves time after time, proverbially in the foot. And you've talked about the 12th man, the 12th person, 12th woman, and they have not necessarily been helping. Are they, i.e. the majority, silent and more sober-minded? Or can they handle positive news that comes from the JFF? Can they handle a member of the JFF coming onto a platform and having a reasoned discussion with the likes of yourself, with the likes of Coach's Desk, I am sure, JD and Warren Webster on IMAX it, Military Guna? Are they prepared to engage with transparency, engage in real discussion, asking and answering the hard questions? Or is it a bag of drama, laugh, skin your teeth, laugh, beat them down, and the JFF are looking on thinking, yeah, you hear what Crystal said? She knows exactly what she's talking about. She knows, Coach's Desk knows exactly what he's talking about. Negativity sells. And once they're laughing and there's a negativity, we can carry on with our bag of something. I don't want to give you too much of a bellyful to deal with. So please.
No, you're not. You don't. Like I said, when it comes to this particular subject, I'm more than comfortable to speak about it. Because I've said to you before that I've had opportunities. Perhaps Coach's Desk has had opportunities where stories have been in my lap that I could spin, not just for my platform, but also for the Voice newspaper. Obviously, you guys know I work for the Voice newspaper, but I choose not to because it's just negative, and it's just like, what am I going to get out of that? What satisfaction am I going to get out of spinning a negative story, knowing that it might have an impact on someone else? And chances of it having a negative impact is I could say is quite high. So what do I actually get out of that? Yeah, you get paid, but well done. What do you do when the money is finished? It's more to life than a paycheck, the way I see it. Like I said, I don't know about Coach's Desk, but he probably feels quite similar to myself. There's always going to be a sense of responsibility when it comes to us, since you're talking about churning out these contents. There's always going to be a element of responsibility. It's not something that we sign up for, but because people look to our platforms, and I say our because everybody is included, people look to our platforms for information, and probably more so 9 times out of 10 they're probably looking for like factual stuff. So if you're coming out and you're being irresponsible with your comment, they're going to latch onto it. if I stay here and keep on saying that Richard Stevens is an idiot. Richard Stevens is an idiot. The guys in the comment section will eventually believe that Richard is an idiot because I keep saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. So we do have to try to be responsible with our content and some of the stuff that we say, even though at times it emotions can get the better of us. Of course it can, because we're human beings, so emotions can 100% get the better of us. But you heard what coaches Des said. You know, if you're seeming as if you're being sensible with regards to speaking about the Jamaica Football Federation, it says, this is the comment, some will say that you are in their pockets, as in the JFF pockets. So I don't know, we're a unique, as Mikey said, the Jamaican community is a colorful community. I don't know what it is about it. Somebody needs to go and do some studying, because we just seem to be so attracted um, to um, to negativity.
Drama.
We just love it, and I can't really quite figure out why. But as a community, that seems to be the thing. That seems
Mikey,
to be the
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I don't
piping,
think
sir.
that. I don't think that. I think that Jamaicans are they're not negative. Not all of us are negative. Some of us is just selfish and thinking about ourselves only.
Interesting,
So,
yeah.
so like, let's say that they gave John Brown the job of the coach for the Reggae Girlz. Now you're going to have 25% of people say, yeah, man. And the next 25 say no. And then 50% say, it no matter what the coach, we just want Jamaica win. But you see the 25 who don't like John Brown, when them finish talk, I think it's 75% of the people don't like John Brown. And it's because of selfish reasons. It's because they are friend with Harry Tom, who they want to get the job. And that is their reason, because they feel that they should pick the coach, and whichever coach they want to pick is the right coach. And when their coach is doing wrong, if he got the job or she got the job, it's not the coach's fault, it's the player's fault. But at the same time, if the other coach got the job, it will be the coach's fault and not the player's fault. It's just selfish, more than likely want our own way. As you know, we as Jamaican, we're very opinionative. Opinionated. And we're not gonna change. And I think that if everybody will think about Jamaica football before they think about themselves, think about the girls, what they want for the girls. These ladies that went put themselves on the line, and some of the people on the streams and who's making comments going to dog some of the girls. They're going to go after Donaldson. They're going to go after the JFF. But if them get to the World Cup, everything is rosy. You know what I mean? And if they feel that Shelley should be played instead of Joan, they're going to find a fault, and they're going to. And we just like to nitpick on the little simple little things that we don't have to nitpick on. You know what I mean? We can make it pass, but we have to make a big deal out of it. And that's how we are. We are Jamaicans. And that's why we're so colorful. You know what I mean? We are the number one people in the world, and we don't realize it. I don't think there's a country in the world that don't know Jamaica. Anybody in a country in the world that don't know about Jamaica. They may think we are in Africa because we are a black nation, but they know Jamaica. They know Bob Marley, they know Usain Bolt, they know Shelley and Fraser Price, they know Elaine Thompson, they know Donald Quarry, go back further. So, we should just, as Jamaicans, try to support this team. Donaldson may not be the coach that we want. I will let you know up front that I didn't want Donaldson. But I'm going to support the team. And I want the girls to win. No matter of fact, I want the girls to win the World Cup. Bring the cup home to Jamaica. And not because he's not my coach. I going to say negative things about the team and about the coach. Well, the coach, the things that I don't like personally, I go and beat him. But if he does good things, I go and give him the credit.
But Mikey, even with what you've just said there, it might have been tongue in cheek. It may be serious.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
All right. When you talk about you want the Reggae Girls to win the World Cup, now that may be an aspiration, a desire. Whether it's steeped in realism is another matter.
Richard,
What?
Richard,
Well,
Richard.
let me
No,
finish.
no.
Though.
Let me just say one thing. No,
Oh,
real
go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
As a man that played soccer or football, whenever I go to any competition,
You go there
I
to
go to
win.
win. So therefore, the Reggae Girls is going to the World Cup to win it, not to just appear. They're not getting an appearance fee. They're going to win. And every team, if they rank 1,035 going to the World Cup, they're going to win the World Cup. They may not get there, but that's the whole idea. You want to win the World Cup. Why
All
go
right.
there if you don't want to win?
Well, I'm coming with a not quite a nuanced argument, but I'm just building upon the discussion that we're having, and it's always a pleasure.
One more
Coming on
question,
to,
Richard. No,
what
one
am
last
I
question.
asking?
One
Go
last
ahead,
question.
sir. Go ahead, sir.
Did Arsenal play the Premiership to win or to finish fourth or fifth? What happened? You want me to repeat?
I want to focus on the state of Jamaican football, and in doing so, what I don't need are unnecessary, quote unquote, distractions. So I'm just focusing on the current conversation we're having. If you want to then micro knit the two together in your own time, in your man cave or wherever you are, no problem. Right about now, though, what we want to do is focus on the discussion in hand. And I'm sure you'll be able to knit away at your leisure and pleasure. Now, if you say, Reggae Girls, under the right coach, the right manager, them are going to reach the World Cup, them are going to get through the quarterfinals, them are going to get through the group stage, them are going to get to the semifinals, and them are going to reach the final, and them are going to win it. Anything less could constitute failure or disappointment. Now that, to some people's ears, would be far-fetched. To some people, they would actually take that literally, wholeheartedly, and run with it. And that running with is where I think, as Crystal has been excellently alluding to and shining the spotlight on, when we're talking about expectations and realistic expectations at that, having a nuanced audience, having fans who appreciate the ins and outs of football, appreciate opposition, appreciate what we're dealing with, it then brings a more informed, educated, wise, sober, empathetic audience. When Crystal and yourself talk about the mental well-being of footballers, when we say be careful how and when and how often, the frequency we give ballers a beating, verbal beating, and we say be careful because we don't know how they're going to react and how they are reacting to the barrage of criticisms. That is reasoned, sober, mature approaches. When we, as I've spoken with Coach's Desk on numerous occasions, Coach's Desk will know this. The athletes that we've talked about, the Elaine Thompsons and Shelly Ann and Sharika Jacksons, and numerous others down the generations, they've been able to grasp what professionalism means. They've been able to handle media pressure, manage their own inner demons, managed and shoot and have shot for the stars. And oftentimes they've reached it. If they don't reach it, they've not reached, but they've gone down with pride and honor and respect, dusted themselves off and come again. What I pick up and detect within Jamaican football circles is the bag of drama can emanate from something simple as, quote unquote simple, I'm saying, oh, we don't have the right manager, we don't have the right coach. Beat them, beat them, beat them, beat them. Oh, them to win this game. Oh, them to win. We need to keep this thing in perspective. As I've said before, Mexico, America, Canada, why don't we have shows where we and listen to feedback where we take the best of these teams and these organizations and see how they're running their business. How are they recruiting? How are they training? How are they preparing? And then take from that. Instead, we've got the susa business going on. We're talking about, as you said, Mikey, oh, and my man get the appointment. And because my man who me want for going there never get the appointment, then everything else is a bag of trouble and negative. Doesn't sit well with me. And then, of course, here comes the next question. What happens when the JFF representative comes into a studio, panelist discussion? Are they on the front foot? Do they feel that they've got an intelligent, sober-minded audience that can pick up on what they're doing, and as the 12th person positively be encouraging and imploring with reason and with quality questions and and good intentions, looking for the JFF to actually do things positively. The JFF are, to a degree, maybe a reflection of the audience that they have, listening to them and observing, carrying out how they've been conducting their behavior. I know there are people who, can see clearly they're not happy with how the JFF conduct themselves. But there's levels, and we need to be able to find the right balance and play our part, as Crystal was saying. Crystal.
Just picking up on what you said there with regards to the last couple of sentences there, in relation to the representatives from the Jamaica Football Federation coming on to our platforms, or let's just say speaking to the media. I think they're in a position where they should be careful. This is why I gave Mr. Dalton Wint credit for how he presented himself when asked about the alleged indiscipline in relation to the Reggae Girlz. I thought he handled that situation well. I would like to see others who work for the Football Federation operate in that manner. Because even if there is a case where you have the facts in front of you to say that there are indisciplined girls within the team, it's irresponsible of you to speak that and let that be public knowledge when you yourself know just how negative our community is. You yourself know, anyone who works for the Jamaican Football Federation knows that we're dealing with a minority of our fan base who are extremely negative. So for me, it's like when you feed certain information to the public where you are alluding to possible indiscipline within the Reggae Girls camp, it's almost as if you're feeding them to the wolves. You know exactly what's going to happen. So I have to question your professionalism. I don't expect you to be in said position and to be acting based off emotions, because it seems like one would react to certain situation based off emotions, but you can't afford to do that. And it's not just a case of because you're dealing with young girls and women. I would say the same message if you're dealing with the young boys and men. You cannot afford to feed them to the wolves, because you just don't know how people are going to react to that. Yes, we're dealing with a minority who are highly negative, but you don't know what those minorities are capable of. So you don't know if they're going to wait for a player after a match and give them an earful. You don't know if they're going to reach out to players on social media and say stuff that absolutely crosses the line. But you present that opportunity because you're not shielding and protecting the team. So this is why I'm saying, there's so much that goes on, or that's gone on over the last couple of weeks that's made me question and say, actually, do you actually have the Reggae Girls' interest at heart, best interest at heart, and to what extent? Because you're giving me reasons to doubt that you truly do care about this team. Caring about this team is not just about wanting them to win matches; it's also wanting to protect them from negativity, be it on online or negativity in the stands. That's how you show that you care for someone. So I hope I've answered your question, Richard. If I haven't answered it, then I'll try and give it another spin.
No. I'm happy with what you've said. It's a very interesting discussion. I'm looking forward to watching the rerun of this particular show because
I
there are
don't know
there
how
are
you do it because even I can't listen to myself after I've spoken. That's it. I don't know how
Well,
you guys in the comment section can
well,
listen to me.
I will tell you, Richard. I watched the last live we did 2 times over because I was breaking up. I could. It made yeah. It was fun. I was laughing.
That was one
It
of
was
my
funny.
favorite lives. That was one of my
likewise.
favorite lives. Warren, big up yourself, Warren. You gave me one of
Um,
my favorite lives ever.
Richard, Richard, you see, like how you said, what you think that they're going to win the Champions League? Well, I know the Reggae Girls going to win the World Cup, and don't feel sorry for me.
All right, I want to bring you down to capture land with this one now, and deal with the matter, yes, sir. Do you know that a few hours ago, a good few
Yeah.
hours ago, I did something on Rich Post Sports, the short features, and I shone the spotlight on Scotland versus Ukraine World Cup playoff, and also listened out and said, look out for Brazil playing South Korea in South Korea. You asked me about Arsenal moments ago. You, Mikey Ballin, shot yourself in the foot. You didn't misspeak, but you took a misstep, and it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you right about now, because
As
watch
long
the
as it's
ride.
not pounds, as long as it's not pounds, me all right.
I, you stay there. Okay, you know, talk your way with your sweet self there. So listen here. Scotland, as day follows night, would not only have aspirations and a belief that they want to reach the World Cup, but they would want to go all the way and win the World Cup in Qatar. I want to ask Crystal how viable that statement that I just said is. Let me repeat it again for Crystal and your good self and the viewers and subscribers. Scotland played Ukraine in a World Cup playoff. Scotland would be determined when they're in the changing room and in their preparations to not only beat Ukraine and then go on to face, because it's not over yet, meet Wales, and then having met Wales, they'd enter a group with America and Iran and England. Get out of that group, go on to the knockout stages, quarterfinal stages, semi-finals, and lift the cup over Brazil, France, Spain, Germany, England. The list goes on. Portugal, Uruguay, Costa Rica, if they get there. Okay? The list goes on. How viable is that statement? Second, South Korea. South Korea met Brazil. I'm sure they want to do the very best they can, beat Brazil, and slaughter all they come across in the World Cup. They're in a difficult group, but I'm sure they want to get out against the likes of Belgium and Croatia. It was Brazil 5, South Korea 1. Brazil took a lead, South Korea equalized, then Brazil threw 4 more goals on them, and they shook hands at the end of that game. And I tell you what, the South Korean fans were the first to say, thank you, Brazil, for giving us a beating. Thank you for coming and playing us. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. And we love our South Korean players. Try again. We wish you the best at the World Cup. We are talking about levels. We are talking about expectations. And we are talking about keeping it real. Mikey, Arsenal were not going to win the Premier League this season. Gone. Would they enter every game wanting to win? Yes. Here's the rub. Would they be prepared to accept defeats in certain games or to come out with a draw and give thanks? Yes. That's the difference between the best, almost the best, also rans. There are levels. And I am absolutely aware of the level that Jamaica, roughly speaking, are at, that Arsenal are at, that Spurs are at, that Liverpool are at, that Real Madrid are at, and that the Reggae Girlz are at. What I'm really salivating and looking forward to with regards to the Reggae Girlz is that they have a coach in Donaldson who is going to be on the same page as the Reggae Girlz, who have an absolute desire and determination to make the World Cup. I believe it when they've said it. I'm determined as a 12th person to be absolutely 100% and more behind them. And I will do everything in the comment section and panelists as a panelist to encourage them and breed and foster an air of positivity and realism at the same time. That realism includes JFF, please get suitable preparation games in place. JFF, make sure that Donaldson is absolutely singing from the same hymn sheet as the Reggae Girlz. And Reggae Girlz, can you please respond to Donaldson and the team that is yet to be put in place? As I understand it, his support team has not been selected and chosen and confirmed as yet. That also actually has me a little concerned, but it is, as Crystal always says, it is what it is. We've got to work with what we've got to work with. Haiti are a good team, but they won't be wetting their lips and licking their lips at the prospect of meeting the Reggae Girlz, because the Reggae Girlz are a good team and they've got more in them to come. America, quality team, trust me, doing altitude training as we speak. And if they're not doing it as we speak, they will be. But I believe that they've actually been engaging in altitude training. That's preparation, the preparation that Jamaica should be taking a leaf out of the book of. But are they? Are they? Mexico playing at home. They will be no pushovers. Jamaica Reggae Girlz need all the support they can get. And they also need empathy, because if they have to go through a playoff, they need the support and positivity in the camp and around the camp in order to make that World Cup back-to-back history. What we don't want, and what I get tired of, is the bagger negativity and the bagger drama just because someone or something doesn't go quite right. We've got to keep things in perspective. Crystal, I'm going mute so you can pipe up. Mikey, I can't see your handsome features, but they're there somewhere. Can we hit the like and share and subscribe buttons when we see Mikey? Because the man is not backward in coming forward with his opinions. Mikey, I salute you for your desire and what you say about Jamaica Reggae Girlz wanting to win it, and you believe that they're going to win it and see them win it. But be careful.
Listen,
some people can run and take that, and because it doesn't happen, they're going to have an ocean. They're going to have a massive. They've got a goal 3 times the normal size to aim at with their brickbats and negativity. If there is not a prospect of lifting the World Cup, that is a big goal in which to score a series of own goals as Jamaican fans. Don't you see the picture?
Richard, let me tell you something. You see, as a man that played sports, and I coach, every competition I go into, I go to win. I do not care what the other team is or who they have on the team. So, as the coach, Lorne Donaldson, is going to do when he goes into the tournament next month, he's going to win all 3 games. Beat the USA, beat Mexico, beat Haiti, beat whoever finished second in the other group, and then beat whoever Canada and US, who win the Canada USA game. So they're going there to win 5 games. He's not going to say, boy, I'm going to beat Haiti and then, that's it. Try beat Haiti because they think that's the easiest one to win. As a coach and as a player and as a supporter, you have to believe that your team is going to win all 5 games that they play next month.
Mikey, let me give you the chance.
Wait a second. And also, to do this,
yes, sir,
the first thing have to happen is that the JFF have to give the girls at least 2 to 3 practice games before, and one of them have to be at altitude, so they have to go play like a team like Bolivia or one of those South American teams that is high elevation, Peru. Ecuador. Play one of those teams, because that is where you're going to get that's the last game you're going to play before you go to Mexico, and that's what they should be trying to get. What games with one of those teams?
There's a big goal in front of those who want to aim negative, barbed comments against the Reggae Girlz, against Donaldson, and against the JFF. With that particular template that you have just outlined, again, I say, let us be sober and realistic. And back to the question, is Jamaica a relatively fledgling nation that appreciates quietly, maybe subconsciously, that they're not quite cutting it? I can see with the Reggae Boys, for example, they may not quite be cutting it at the CONCACAF highest levels, let alone onto the World Cup stage. And because of that, the great, unique Jamaican sense of humor can come out to play in its full glory. On these platforms, it is there for us to see time and time again. We've got some really fantastic, smart, quick-witted people in the community. Trust me, in the footballing community. But if you want to have a discussion and keep things real in terms of levels and aspirations and quality of players, quality of the structures that we have in place, you have to call a spade at times and keep things real. So again, when you were just saying, Mikey, that, as a coach, you don't go in with any thoughts about losing. Let me ask you directly. If your team doesn't win all 5 games, if they won 2 games, lost 2 games and drew 1, would you still be positive? Would you say the glass is half full than half empty? Would you congratulate them because of the effort, because of the goals scored, telling them that it was a close call? Would you laud the positive aspects whilst criticizing or encouraging through constructive criticism some of the aspects of the play that resulted in them not achieving what you wanted, which is 5 wins out of 5? Would you see it in you and find it in yourself to find the positives in light of a campaign that doesn't quite go as well? I think you would, but many people wouldn't. And that's where the buckle. It's a long time since I've seen the bottle. CD. You remember the buckle them? You remember the buckle them? Fling buckle. Hey, it's a long time since I've seen the bottles, So I think there's been a bit of a improvement in terms of maturity, because there was a time that if somebody didn't agree with what I go on, buckle, champion, buckle, woman, shoe, heel, all kind of thing. I throw in the comment section. So it's Crystal, am I talking sense? Is there any reason to what I'm saying? Can you find a balance between what myself and Mikey are saying? I'd love to hear what the commenters are saying. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I'm gonna listen and watch for all the commenters when I watch the replay of this, because I really want to see how the land lies. Am I way out of line, or am I pretty close to the mark, or sailing too close to the wind? Crystal.
No, coach. I've been waiting till I'll give you a response. No, I haven't. I'll check it in a few. Unless you want to drop something there in the comment section. So what is it you'd like me to address there, Mr. Stevens? Because I was listening to your back and forth there with Mr. Ballin. So what is it you wanted us to touch on? I still have to look at the camp, the situation. We're obviously still on covering numerous topics there. So before I go, I'm going to touch on camp, probably look at that now actually, since we're
Crystal,
about it. Yes,
I hope coaches just wasn't disturbing your unduly or getting your attention unduly. There's a time and a place. That man, he's got a great smile and he's got a quick wit. He's a poet himself. So I'll give you some leeway, because the man is engaging. You need to know how to handle him. He's a top diplomat.
I'm glad that I've been warned. I'm glad. I appreciate it.
No problem. The man is a dangerous man, but blessed. Coach Minzy, one love, sir. Mikey.
Yes, Mikey.
Crystal. No, I just want to make Crystal show me a few pounds.
Sir, if you took me to court, you would lose. Because if you showed the video, the recording, the video would say, well, Miss Davis sat back and watched yourself and Mr. Stevens lead the conversation.
No, is that they were gone over 2 hours?
Yeah, the judge would say, well, actually, Miss Davis sat back and let the gents lead the conversation. I would say, Judge, you are absolutely right.
You owe me a few pounds, so
I owe
I
you
come
brunch.
collect.
When you come over to the UK eventually, I'll take you out for brunch, definitely.
Yes, and I get my cake then too.
I can't promise you on that. I don't know if certain people are a man of their words. I will be meeting them for the first time this month, and I will give you an update.
Yes.
And I'll let you know if they show up late as well.
So listen, if I'm not treated right, I'm gonna start malice him. Anytime come on the program, I won't be on the program.
If he don't treat me right, I'll speak to Warren and let Warren send over his friend for him. Don't you worry about that.
Beg you keep King Warren out of this, please. King Warren, beg you,
Warren
please.
wouldn't guess what happened to me today.
Warren, I got send CSV. I mean WS, sorry.
Okay, so we were talking about the games. I think that was actually our perfect timing because that's actually on my list there. If I can get up my notes. So when you see me looking down, I'm actually making some notes as you guys speak. And I was also looking at my notes to see what topics to discuss. There's so much there to talk about with regards to the return of Lorne Donaldson. But I am cautious of time.
Quite so. Have you got a note there about do not discuss matters Manchester United?
And should I make a note of that?
I don't know. I don't know if you'd make a note of that because I know Mikey was talking about teams entering tournaments with the sole intention and sole intention of winning. I don't know if that applied to Manchester United season gone. I don't know.
Richard, I'm a very nice guy. And I know coaches just like to smile a lot, but I think him have a deadly smile. So watch what you're talking about when you talk about Manchester United.
Warren, Richard.
Mine coaches desk have a man better than WS to come slap you.
Man, Will Smith threats. You see that, Crystal? You see how people get nervous about that?
Do you nothing? Those Red Devils can't touch you because we have the cannon ready to go. They can't touch you, Sir Rich. Don't you worry. We'll shoot down that devil at any second. Don't you worry about them and their Red Devil, okay?
They start the season wanting to win the Premier League and had every intention of winning the Premier League.
Yeah,
10 years players then want to win the Premier League. Mikey.
The problem with Premier League, there's too much London club in there.
Mute him, Mike. Crystal, mute him, Mike. I'm not talking no sense. Make a note. Make a note when Manchester United is discussed. Watch out for the bag of nonsense. The bag of nonsense coming from Mikey Ballin.
Listen,
please make a note. We stay away from Man United because the man attack reason when they attack them.
But I must tell you that you notice a Manchester club win the Premiership, right?
Oh, Mikey, that's low.
And not a London club.
Mikey Ballin, Mr. I can't believe this is how low it's gotten for Manchester United fans. Mr. Ballin, we're going to act like we didn't hear that one. We're going to...
Wise.
So much London club in there, and then not one of them could have win.
Wise, Crystal. Wise. Make him move.
Make him move. For us is so deep. We're gonna act like we didn't hear that one.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna act like he didn't make a blunder with that one. We're gonna ignore that one, Mr. Ballin. So
we're talking about cities now. We're not talking about clubs.
Seems like we touched the nerves. I thought someone was maybe having a snack or something, but we touched the nerve with someone, Richard. Not gonna call any names, but we touched the nerve.
You see, I will mention Spurs. I'm not drawing nobody tongue. Yeah, you know something? I think Spurs go win the Champions League.
There you know.
What you say, Richard?
Richard, don't bite. Don't bite. Do that. You see, Richard, nobody's supporting your Manchester City big up.
Coach, we support the city when I support we support the city now, Manchester.
I will, coach. As soon as I'm done as soon as I'm done the live, I'm gonna go back and cut that part out. You made a blunder. Made an
No,
absolute.
I am not jumping ship. I'm supporting the city. Just like in New York, we have a lot of teams. I support the team. I support the city, sorry.
If you say so, sir. But
All right.
we are
But anyway,
we
guys, I'm a
yeah.
Manchester United fan. It's on the tongue and cheek. I mean, I like Manchester City.
If you say so, sir, we're not going to critique you on that. But if you say
Okay.
so, can't say I believe you. But if you say so, then I guess I will pretend to believe. Um, so what we are looking at, I'm going to get some fixtures up for you guys. I managed to get it up earlier on, but this screen of mine is giving me a little bit of a trouble. So let me see if I can do this another way for you guys. So you guys can. I like you guys to see what I'm looking at. Rather than just speaking at you. I like you guys to actually see exactly what I'm looking at on my screen. Oh, team fixtures. So let's see.
Mikey, how you feel?
Should I get all of those tabs open?
I'm
You
going
know
to
what?
jump off of you and be right back, okay?
No,
Okay.
no, no. Hey, no, hey, Mikey.
Yes. Yes.
Haven't you drunk enough tonight?
No,
Haven't you
not yet.
drunk enough tonight? You're going off for a few.
Yes,
Listen, put on
I
the
have to go
can,
get
them.
my
Stay
lemon
away
and
from the
water.
liquor, please. God
I
no,
have to get my
you've had
lemon and
enough.
water. You know what? I have Jerry and nephew here supporting me. I'll bring him over. Bring them over
Keep
shortly.
them well away from you. Please keep them well away from. Promise that you're not gonna go near them when you
No,
jump
me I
off
go
of
bring
this.
them a visit me now. Me go bring them over and introduce them to you.
Oh Lord. All right. Well, as long as it's in front of us, don't stay away too long. We
Just
don't
Okay.
want you sipping
don't
away.
do nothing in front of Ted. That's all I'm asking you guys. Be
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I
responsible.
want to
I'll be right back.
set the right example. Well, watch
Yes,
out.
set
Count
the
him
right
out. All
example.
right, Mikey. All right.
Yeah.
We love you.
All right, so guys, I managed to get up some fixtures there with regards. So what we're going to be talking about, Mr. Scott, this is the first for me. I never knew that you was Manchester City supporter. That's news to me. But what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm going to. I literally didn't know that. Maybe he told me before and I didn't. I don't remember. What I'm gonna do is gonna remove my my
Banner.
can't think. Yeah, the headline. I just lost train of thought there. All right, guys. So remove the headline or the banner, whichever one you want to refer to it as. And I'm actually going to look at some fixtures for you guys. I'm sorry, I'm about to make your evening a little bit miserable, just to echo just how underprepared we are. And when I say we're obviously looking at the Reggae Girlz. Like I said, I'm not going to blame Lorne Donaldson. Obviously, you can't blame him for nothing, no fixtures being in the pipeline, but I will instead look to the Jamaica Football Federation because there's no excuses. You must have known at some point that you're going to get a new head coach, be it on an interim basis or a permanent basis. So you should have had certain things set in place, ready for whenever whoever steps into that driving seat, they're ready to go. Unfortunately, that clearly isn't the case here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my banner. I'm going to go back over to my shared screen so we can like I said, I might make things a little bit miserable for you guys in the comment section. I'm going to give myself maybe about 25 more minutes with you guys. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. You can see my screen, Richard?
I can see your screen. There are a few panels open. So
Yeah.
here we go. Here we go. All
Those
right.
panels are fine for the time being. So as you guys can see there, this is the United States, and this is how things are looking. Obviously, you should be able to read this one. I hope you can read it. Let's see if I can zoom in, make life a little bit
Make it a
easier
little
for you
bigger.
guys there. Right. So should definitely be able to read that on your screen. Clearly, it says United States Women's National Soccer Team. And the two fixtures there that you should cast your eyes on is at the top where it says Colombia, and that will be played on these two games are scheduled for the 26th of June And I'm looking at UK timings, so don't be confused by the UK times. If it's saying 26th of June, then it will be played on the 25th of June for you guys, right? So don't be confused because Google is obviously giving me UK times. So clearly you can see there that that's their first friendly and they'll be playing against Colombia. And a few days later, they've got their second friendly again against Colombia. And then they shoot off into their first match against Haiti. You can see there that will be their first match there for the CONCACAF Women's Championship. Subsequently, after Haiti, they move on to Jamaica, and then they move on to Mexico, the host nation. Now, if we pop up to the top and click on another tab, and you guys should be able to read that quite clearly. But if you can't, let me zoom in again for you guys. Try to make sure that you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. And you can see that it says Haiti women's national team. Two fixtures there to focus on, other ones at the top. And it pretty much reads for itself. I'll click on it so you guys can see that it's a friendly and it says against Costa Rica. And they have two friendlies in the pipeline. Their second friendly, basically you can call it the reverse fixture again against Costa Rica. Now, if I go to my third tab here, you will see that we have the host nation top two fixtures there that we're focusing on is um, what reads on screen Mexico versus Peru. Again, a friendly. And they've pretty much all followed the same formula. So, what they're doing to make life easier, and anyone with common sense would do that since you're fighting against time, is they have penciled in fixtures with the same country twice, again to make life a little bit easier for themselves because you're all operating against time. So that is the United States, Haiti, and Mexico, which have pretty much all confirmed fixtures there in the pipeline. Just to reiterate, Mexico will be playing against Peru in their two friendlies there. And then you have
Preparation.
um, Haiti, who will be playing against Costa Rica, and you have United States taking on Colombia. And who do we have? That is still a question mark, and it's one that's quite worrying because everyone is preparing for their for the CONCACAF women's championship there. Everyone's being professional about their approach, preparing. We know just how important it is to prepare. In case you don't want to listen to me, when it comes to the importance of preparation. What I will do is I will play something. Let me know, you guys, in the comment section if you can hear what I'm about to play. So I'm gonna play the interview I did with Bonnie Shaw some weeks ago after the Women's FA Cup final. And that is, I'm going to play the interview simply because I spoke to Bonnie about preparation. So I'm going to play it in a bit. Let me know if you guys can hear it in the comment section.
Let's say good
Give you
night.
a perfect test
Can
for
you
the
hear
all
it?
important games in July.
Yeah, for me, I embrace these moments. I think.
Could you hear that, Richard?
I could. I was saying good night to Coach's Desk. Thanks for tuning in. It'd be interesting to see if the those viewers in the comment section can hear. I could hear it.
Okay, let me know before I continue, guys, if you guys could hear it in the comment section, because I don't want to play the rest of the interview there with Bunny if you guys can't hear it. Again, we spoke about the importance of preparation, so it'd be interesting to hear from. Yes, Mikey can hear it. The skipper's mouth. With regards to the importance of preparation. So let me go back and I'm just gonna mute our mics whilst I'm playing it. Okay, Richard.
No problem. I just saw something in the comic section from Taja Scott. Not only is he a Manchester City fan, but my goodness me, he's such a Man City fan that he went on to say that. Well, did you see what he said? If Bunny, I think Bunny is his lifeline. He's such a big fan of Bunny that when Bunny is not, if Bunny retires or is not in the team, his interest wanes.
I think that's the
Fascinating,
same for most fans. We tend to follow our players.
Leon Bailey
Um,
at Aston
I,
Villa and so on and so forth. Interesting,
I
interesting.
won't be long, guys, in the comment section. So I'm gonna go back and play that interview quickly for you guys. Made a little bit of a rookie mistake. I realized I can't actually mute my mic because you guys won't hear it. So let's give that another go.
These are the games you want to test yourself in against the best, some of the best players in the world. You want to see where you are mentally, physically. Once you can see yourself matching up and competing, against that, that okay, then I'm not far off. It's just to keep working on the pitch and keep pushing forward.
So the Reggae Girls fans can go and book their ticket because we're gonna see you in July, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love representing my country. It's a pride and joy when I put that jersey on and the crest and everything. I try to give my all when I play for Jamaica, and nothing will change this July. We'll come together as a group, grind and work extremely hard to put smiles back on the Jamaican faces again.
Best of luck in July, and I know a lot of people framing it as the group of death, but I do believe that you can do two successive World Cup qualification on the track.
Yeah, like the most important thing is belief, and we've always believed in ourselves and in our capabilities. The group it's gotten better from the last World Cup, but it will just come down to preparation and having trainings and practice games to see where we are physically and mentally, because some of those games will bring out the mental toughness in players. So I think once we have that quality preparation going forward, I don't see why we can't get through that group.
Amazing. Thank you, Bunny.
Thank you.
So you heard there, guys, that was on an exclusive interview there after the women's FA Cup final at Wembley. Managed to catch up with Manchester City's Bunny Shaw, and obviously she spoke on the importance of preparation. And it's sad to say that as things stand, clearly we're underprepared, largely underprepared going into next month's World Cup qualifiers. I don't know about you guys, but I'm concerned. I'm worried. Again, I'm not even questioning Lorne Donaldson at this point because, like I said, there should have been certain things set in place ready for Lorne Donaldson for when he takes over, or for any coach when they take over as the Reggae Girls gaffer. So he's off already. He's off to a bit of a rocky start because he's been made to play catch up when really and truly he shouldn't be made to play catch up. And I don't really want no one from the federation or whoever is in charge of the girls using um the issue there with appointing a head coach as their reason as to why there was no friendlies in the pipeline, because that's absolute nonsense. There's a thing called multitasking, and if you're not capable of multitasking, you pass that job over to someone else. You do it as a shared effort. If you can't do the multitasking that you're paid to do, you ask someone in your team to help you out, or you walk away from your job. We've seen Vin Blaine walk away from his job. If you can't serve the Reggae Girls in the way they need to be served, let someone else do the job. If you're out your depth, let someone else do the job. If you were being asked to put fixtures, friendlies in the pipeline by Vin Blaine some weeks back, and I say some weeks back because that's when it was mentioned in the press conference. I trust that he must have echoed his wishes months back. If he spoke to you about wanting friendlies in the pipeline for the Reggae Girls and you are still iffing and butting, then this disaster falls in your lap. This disaster falls in your lap. It just further shows that unfortunately we are just so heavily reactionary. Why are we being reactive? Why are we not being proactive? Why didn't we have things set in stone for when Lorne Donaldson or whoever steps in the driving seat of the gaffer? They should be ready to go. Lorne Donaldson should be sat at home wondering, when is my coaching staff coming into the fold, and then from there, when will I be able to call up the players, and from there, when can I arrange to get friendlies? It's just things that could have been planned, pre-planned for any coach to take over. And I'm pretty sure the likes of Lorne Donaldson, or even if it was a Jonathan Morgan, they would have appreciated some proactiveness. because at the moment it's just messy. It's out of the girls' control. Preparation is key. That's not rocket science. That's not that shouldn't be new to anyone. But as always, we are being made to play catch up, and I'm guessing many are hoping that we will be able to qualify simply based off the fact that we have a talented squad. Talent is only going to get you so far. Talent will only take you so far. So if we're not prepared in the way that we should be, like I said, you heard that skipper, the captain herself, echo the importance of preparation. That's Bunny is one of the best players on the planet. Notice I say best players and not best female player. And I'll say it again in case you didn't hear me. One of the best players on the planet. And she's telling you about the importance of preparation. You don't need Bunny Shaw telling you about the importance of preparation. People who work close to the team, people who are being paid to maximize the team's potential should know the importance of preparation. And the fact of the matter is that it is key to success. If you prepare properly, you will taste success. If you are underprepared, you will bear the brunt of that. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, I'm hoping that that won't be the case. That we won't be sat here saying that the girls are looking fatigue and we're talking about synergy building. I'm so sick and tired of talking about synergy building when it comes to Jamaican football, both for the men's team and the women's team. So yeah, it's a few things there that I'm not too best pleased about. I'm going to, before I log off, I'm going to talk to you guys about that interview. Before I forget, let me go ahead and drop that link to the exclusive interview there with Khadija Show in case you guys want to watch it in your own time. So I'll leave that down there in the comment section. I'm trying to keep an eye on all of you in the comment section. It's a little bit difficult because I'm also making notes at the same time. So I was going to say something. Oh, yes. The the, no joke, she's definitely the best striker in the world. If you watch her games that she plays for her club, no players don't really pass the ball to her. This is why I said best player, not best female player. And people can argue with me on that if they want. I'm willing to die on that hill that she is one of the best players in the world. So I'm going to be going through that interview there. I did say that Lorne Donaldson did a interview. I can only assume that it might have been yesterday, or at least it was published yesterday. And a little bit of the headline says Lorne Donaldson, who was confirmed as the new Reggae Girlz head coach yesterday, said if the right players are available, he is confident the team can do well at the CONCACAF Women's Championship. Let me just check with my co-host. I haven't heard from him in a while. He's probably you okay there? You okay there, Richard?
Yes, I'm listening, waiting for the final interview. I know you said it's only a few minutes to go. I'm gonna make a move in a few minutes myself. So if we've got time to hear the interview, that'd be terrific.
So this
I know.
one is more of a read through. So
Okay.
Uh I'll give you guys a perhaps I should turn on my share screen. Do you want me to turn on my shared screen once more?
If it's a read through, you can read it out. If you want to share, put it
Okay,
onto the screen and
I'll
read it
read
out.
it
No
out. It's
problem at
probably
all.
easier for me. So I'll go by paragraph. I'll try to be as quick as I can, guys. So Donaldson, assistant to Hugh Menzies during the Reggae Girls FIFA Women's World Cup campaign, which culminated in France in 2019, is back for his second stint as head coach. He briefly succeeded Menzies in 2020 before walking away because of what he cited as unprofessionalism by the Jamaica Football Federation. Couple paragraphs there. He comes in at a time when the Reggae Girls were desperately in need of a coach, with the tournament taking place in Mexico from July 4th through to July 18th. Of the previous coach, Vin Blaine, resigned 2 weeks ago following a letter signed to the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts, by 19 members of the squad questioning his competence. Although Donaldson is largely familiar with the team, he said having all at his disposal for selection would be the best thing. I'm going to read out a couple quotes there in line with the interview. He says, and this is Lorne Donaldson, in a few days I will know exactly what pieces we have. What pieces we have when we start contacting the girls and start putting everything together. But I do not know exactly what pieces I have as yet. So we will have to wait and get the pieces, then put the puzzles together. If the right pieces are here, I think we can go in with a lot of confidence that we can play some good football. And the article goes on to say the Reggae Girls have been grouped with World Cup champions, United States, host nation, Mexico, Haiti, and are required to finish in the top two in the group to book a place at the World Cup in Australia and New Zealand next year. Donaldson says he hopes the Jamaica Football Federation already have some things in place to kickstart the program. It's quite interesting, that, isn't it? I'll read that bit for you again. Donaldson says he hopes the Jamaica Football Federation already has some things in place to kickstart the program. And to round that off, I've got a few more quotes there from Lorne Donaldson, and it reads as follows. It is a very short time to prepare, so the girls have to start working on their fitness right away, and we have to get a camp in place. He followed that up by saying, obviously, it will take some time to get all that going. But if the federation has something in place, I can look at it and see what would work best in terms of where we are going. So I don't really know what you guys make of that read through there, but this is about to come to an end. I say this in terms of my live stream. I got another maybe 10 minutes to go. So what do you guys make of Lorne Donaldson's interview there?
Very briefly from my side of things before Mikey pipes in, and hopefully he's not the worse for wear, and Ray and Nefri have not had their wicked way with him. I sense a little trepidation and realism in Donaldson's voice delivery from the interview, from the words. There is a short turnaround time. We don't know, and Lorne doesn't quite know if there are fixtures in place, what are the quality of those fixtures, and he needs to get up to speed, even though he knows the Reggae Girlz squad for the most part. He's talking about the issues of fitness levels and general preparation. It's a big tournament, and it's not. In fact, it's far from ideal. But where the lead up and preparation is concerned. So I'm going to be really, as a panelist, piping down. I think this program has been very timely, very useful, very instructive in terms of where the Reggae Girlz are at the moment and going forward. We know that it's not an easy road, and we need to have as many positive things in place quickly. And the JFF need to be on the case. I'm hoping that they are and have been on the case, but we know what lies before us. So preparation, game time, positive energy and synergy and connection between the Reggae Girlz and Lorne is what I'm looking for. And roll on, because July 4th will be on our doorsteps before we know it. So we know what's before us. Let's see how things progress, and we're wishing the JFF all the very best in terms of preparation. Of course, we're wishing the Reggae Girlz the very best, and Lorne, wishing you the very best. I know that he had trepidation about the JFF's abilities, shall we say, in a previous tenure as assistant coach. He didn't take up the full-time head coach mantle because of that. I hope history does not repeat itself, and we can have an opposite of events of last time. Mikey.
Well, with the JFF, you know that there's going to be a little drama before anything. They're into the movies, so they like the drama business. I think Mr. Donaldson is trying to set himself in a position where he say, where he's going to say, listen, I thought the JFF had made arrangement for games. If he don't get 2 or 3 games to prepare. Also, what he didn't say is that when they're going to start the camp. You know, I don't know if it was like with Mr. Hall, if the JFF going to pick the team for him. So, Crystal, I ask you a question. You're in this football game as a media personality. How long would it take for you think it should take Mr. Donaldson to pick out 23 girls? I don't know what his squad going to be. Let's say 23. You think he has the girls' names already in his head or on a piece of paper that he wants to use, the ladies?
I trust that though he's been watching on as a outsider like the rest of us, that he should know what his best team looks like. So I don't think he would need to do any extensive research. Let's bear in mind that he would already know the core players, so those are, dare I say, automatically selected, because there's no reason not to select them, even outside of whatever we're being forced to
But
believe. I don't think there'll be a delayed turnaround with regards to the player call
so
ups.
so therefore you're hoping that he was watching the games and paying attention.
I
So
should think
therefore
so.
so therefore he knows we need a left fullback. A
I
two.
should
Matter of
think I
fact, two, not one, but two. You need a backup.
I should think he knows what's needed, but then again, like, we're in a position where certain things should have happened before Donaldson or any coach
And
came on board, in terms of reaching out to players and so on.
the,
Obviously, you can probably only really and truly reach out to a player when you are in that position to really sell whatever opportunity you want to sell to them.
yeah, so well, I know that Vin had spoken that he had there was a left fullback somewhere in England. I don't know what team that he was thinking of. I don't know if you know the name of that
I,
young
I,
lady.
I, I don't know if they're thinking of the same players. I can't. It's a difficult one to comment on
No,
because
because we can't go into the into the competition without two proper left fullbacks.
no, the reason why I'm saying that is because every player, every sorry, not player, every coach has their preferred choice. So though Mr. Blaine had his left back in mind, Mr. Donaldson probably also have his own left back in mind. So I have no idea what he's thinking. So he must bare minimum knows who he's looking at. And it's not probably, it's a matter of working with absolute urgency now. So probably staying up, working outside of normal working hours to reach out to players and asking for availability. Also knowing if the players is fit, because he probably has someone in mind and that player is probably not fit. Probably that player could have picked up an injury. That player could be on holiday and have accidentally picked up an injury on holiday. You never know.
Hmm.
So it depends on the player's availability and their fitness as well. But he must have someone in mind, not someone in mind, but players in mind, as
Yeah.
to who he's going to be calling up.
Well, I just hope he has two full left fullbacks, not one but two, because you need a backup.
Yeah. He should know the players well enough, or the squad well enough to
And
know who he should be reaching out to.
and a solid centre back, a next solid centre back.
Mm, mm.
So that's it.
I'm more concerned about camp, to be honest with you, Mikey.
Yeah.
It's looking bleak at the moment. Uninspiring, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't know how these players do it. That's probably something that we don't credit them for. The fact that their morale probably has been at all time low at some period, but somehow they always manage to pick themselves up and just get the job done. But it shouldn't have to be like that. It shouldn't have to be a case where we're just getting the job done. There should be things set in place to help the players to
Yeah.
maximize their potential in order to get the job done. So I'm worried for them, and that's not because I'm not questioning Donaldson coaching abilities. I'm not questioning the players' talent. I'm just questioning the makeup around the team, and whether things will be done with the team's best interests at heart. that remains to be seen. That's something that we're going to be keeping our eyes on, but that definitely remains to be seen.
Well, and the next thing I'm going to repeat what I said earlier is that I hope one of these games, preferably the last game, is with with a South American team. Sorry, that's
Mhm.
on a high altitude, so they can at least get that game in to see what it's going to be like when they're in Mexico. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
That is very very important.
Definitely, definitely. You guys in the comments section, if I'm not responded to your comments, I do apologize. I'm, like I said, I'm looking down, trying to make notes at times and trying to engage with you guys. So sorry if I missed out on any comments. It wasn't intentional. But sometimes it's difficult to chair a live stream and also communicate with you guys in the comment section. So my apologies. Coach Krumi, big up yourself, Coach. I hope you're in good health. I hope you and the family are well. Um,
I see
yes,
Pagan 180's in the house as well.
Pagan is
Pagan
here as
180.
well. Good evening to yourself. I didn't
Well,
even see Pagan.
yes,
Good evening,
Crystal.
Pagan.
Since
Yes.
Greetings,
Richard is
Pagan
back,
180.
I have to make my exit again. This time is for work reasons, and I
Okay,
don't think
sir.
I'm going to be coming back on until
Well,
I'll
I'm
see you.
about to close off in about
She's
5 minutes.
wrapping up. She's wrapping
Yeah,
up, you know.
yeah. But this thing I have to take care of immediately.
Well, take
Okay,
care of it
sir.
safely, and
See you guys
I hope
tomorrow.
it's not Ray
Okay.
Take
our
care.
nephew.
No, see
I
you
hope it's
later
not Ray
today,
our nephew.
Crystal, and see you which is tomorrow for me.
Yes, see you later and tomorrow, all in one.
Okay, all right, guys. See you later.
Take
Okay,
care,
bye.
Mikey.
Yeah, bye.
Guidance, Mikey.
Right, all right, cool,
Guidance.
cool.
So as I said, guys, tomorrow Friday, it will be Friday for you guys. It's already Friday for us. Friday 9 p.m. Join me back on here when I'll be doing a live stream with Roran Morgan, and Roran Morgan is the father to Jonathan, Jade, and Holly Morgan. So the engineer behind the Morgan dynasty. I'll be talking to Rohan about quite a lot. I don't want to ruin any surprises there for you guys. So show up on your best behavior. I know you guys are usually well behaved, and yeah, just show up and enjoy the moment. I know some of you are unaware of the Morgans and what they're all about, and their involvement in football. So hopefully your questions will be answered tomorrow. And if you want to ask something, then feel free to drop something in the comment section. Just try to make it respectful. That's the only way we're going to turn an eye to your comment. So yes, if you want to ask Mr. Morgan something, then do fire away. I probably won't have much of his time if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm hoping that I will, but that remains to be seen. But do join me Friday, 9 p.m. This Friday, 9 p.m. So what time would that? What would that be? Friday, the 3rd of June, 9 p.m. And I will be speaking to Jonathan Morgan's dad. Jonathan Morgan, is those of you who are wondering, Jonathan Morgan was one of the leading front runners for the then vacant Reggae Girlz head coach position, which has now been presented and accepted by Lorne Donaldson. So I'll be speaking to the father of Jonathan Morgan. Lots to discuss when it comes to the Morgans, guys, and hopefully I'll be able to answer all of your questions. Before I forget my manners, thank you to the many of you who have hit the like button on tonight's live stream. Definitely appreciate you guys. 90 of you, I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are incredible. 90 of you have hit that like button. Big up yourselves. You guys there in the comments section, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. If I don't see you here tomorrow, I do hope that you have a lovely Friday. And if I don't see you over the weekend, I can't think of why you wouldn't be joining me over the weekend when we'll be doing more live streams over the weekend. Jam pack next couple of days for you guys there. Again, picking things up with Mr. Rohan Morgan, the father to Jonathan, Jade, and Holly Morgan. The Morgan dynasty, the engineer behind the Morgan dynasty, will be joining me this Friday at 9 p.m. UK. So do join me. And I hope to see the rest of you guys here tomorrow. If I don't see you here tomorrow, I do hope that you have a lovely weekend when it comes. Any final comments there, Richard?
Uh, Thank you very much, viewers and subscribers. Pagan 180, Taja, Coach Karumi. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Anyone out there listening, if you haven't hit the like button and you've enjoyed the conversation and just forgotten to hit the thumbs up, do so. And we wish you the very best, as of course we wish the Reggae Girlz, who have a new coach, Lorne Donaldson, who's familiar with the many of the players. Preparation time is short, but what we need to do is use our resources and time wisely. This is going to be a challenging task. Jamaica have many challenges and opportunities, reggae boys style and reggae girls wise. This particular challenge is a heck of a mountain, but it can be climbed. They do need the support, they do need the equipment, and they do need the full commitment of the structures around them in order for them to give themselves the best opportunity to progress out of what has been commonly described as the group of death. Reggae Girlz, we salute. We are 110 and more percent behind you, beside you, and in front of you in your quest. We hope that the suso is dampened down and the preparation and focus on a job that needs doing can be squarely addressed. If there are any reggae girls listening, one love.
I can't guarantee that. I have no idea if they're listening, but I just keep losing train of thought. Hope I answered your question there, Coach Karumi. If not, I'll definitely be covering that particular question on tomorrow night's live stream. Tasia, you asked me a question. I think you said to do an interview. I'm not sure if I can make it happen, but I could try for you. That's all I can do. I realized that I caught a glimpse of your comment, but I forgot to respond to you. So sorry. Sorry about that.
Yes, I
But
did
thank
see Tasia was keen on if
he did.
possible
We did
get
mention an
yes
interview, didn't he?
interview
Yeah,
with
I
with,
thought
with
so.
Mr. I think it's with Mr. Donaldson if possible before the qualifiers start. Yes, he was quite
Um, I'm,
they were
I'm,
quite
I'm
keen on
one.
that. Mm.
I'm one to I like to let people get on with their job. If I'm being completely honest with you, and I trust that Mr. Donaldson is absolutely snowed under with work. From a selfish perspective, obviously, I would love to speak to him, and I'm sure you guys would as well. But I think he's probably absolutely snowed under with heaps of work, more important things to be doing in terms of priority. If I'm being completely honest, but I
I
could
think
try.
he's said a lot, to be honest, from the little research I've done
Exactly.
and from what you've
Exactly. He's
quoted from him.
already
He said
spoken.
plenty. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I
Hard work
also
is ahead
like to
now.
think that there's a time and place to do certain things, and
Yeah,
I love the idea, Tasia. That's not to say I won't try. I absolutely love your idea, but I think in terms of priority, this
exactly.
would just be something that he doesn't necessarily need to do because he must have 101 things to tick off his to-do list. The most important things is to get those player call-up sorted out and to get fixtures in the diary with regards to friendly. And then after that, sorry to him, but he doesn't even get a break. He has to prepare again, look forward to the CONCACAF Women's Championship. So realistically, you can probably your best bet to speak to someone like a Donaldson is when he's much quieter. If I'm being but that's just me. That's just how I do things. That was something I said to Vin Blaine that I did want to talk to him at early doors. When he first came through as the Reggae Girlz interim head coach, but there's a time and place knowing when to speak to someone and not when to and when not to speak to someone. Same goes for the players.
Absolutely. Crystal, I'm gonna have to love and leave you and allow you to close the show. I can see a Michael Gordon there who's saying night. Night.
Good night, Mr. Gordon.
Always. Full respect.
Thank you.
Hit that
Thank
like. I'm
you.
sure you have.
Glad you hit the like, but glad you hit the like. Glad you liked the show. And yes, Tasia, I will try my best to get that done for you. I'm about to shoot off now, guys. It is 3:23 a.m. in London, so I hope you've at least done the bare minimum and hit that like button. Again, join me tomorrow night, Friday, 9 p.m. UK, where we'll be talking to Mr. Roran Morgan, the father of Jonathan, Jade, and Holly Morgan. We'll be talking all about the birth of the Morgan dynasty, which all started in Jamaica. I hope you guys will be joining me. Thank you again for blessing me with a moment of your time. If you're new to the platform, kindly go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you enjoyed tonight's show, kindly go ahead and hit that like button. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.